Hello and welcome to the Cabros pod. Yeah,
It's
thank you.
corn.
It's Corn and the Cobb
On
Bros
the Cobb.
podcast. How are you guys doing this
Nobody
week?
Nobody even tried to trip you up that time.
I know.
Well, we're kind of exhausted. We
It's
spent the
corn.
day moving shit around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tired people.
Yeah.
Moving is never fun.
Yeah, it's one of the most stressful things you can do in your life. It's fucking
I've helped so many people move this year, and I got to help another buddy in 2 weeks move. 'Cause
Oh,
they're
God.
moving out of apartments into an actual house. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, cool. We got to move everything.
Yeah, it's God, moving is just, it's never easy. Getting everything out of the house, sure, whatever. That's
Pat
that's
McAfee
fine
said.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
It's a Pat McAfee show.
for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, he's pretty.
He has like
entertaining
a
guy.
podcast of football and shit and
Right.
talk
talk
show.
about him
talk
later.
show. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get to that.
It's
yeah.
on the agenda. I'm going to
Yeah.
pinpoint it on my belt.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, but
Uh,
moving is hell. It
yeah,
is
it's,
never easier to move stuff in. Like you're thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna put it here, there, and smack, boom,
Nope.
bang.
Yep, it's not a video game.
Never.
Back boom pow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah,
Fucking, what is it? Sadie's mom used to always say, the three most stress. It's honestly a common saying that she would always say, but it's fucking the three most stressful things that you can do in your life is someone dying, going through a breakup, or moving. That's fucking true. It's fucking stressful when you move,
Yeah.
and the other two things. But
That's fair.
moving is more relatable for a lot of more people,
Yeah.
and
move a lot.
and less sad.
yeah.
Some people move a lot.
People, yeah, some people move like all the time. It's common for them.
Kids.
Moving
Yeah.
all the time.
Poor guys.
Growing up on
And
bases.
gals.
Religious people on
Did you ever-
their missions.
did you ever-
Utah.
You ever know a military kid?
Oh yeah.
I knew one for like 2 months, and he was pretty rad. And then they're just gone. And his parents are just like, "Yeah, we gotta move again."
Yeah. Oh
That
god.
I knew
Floyd
any
Falcons
kids.
Or
face.
no, not in that case.
Yeah,
actually.
I knew,
misunderstood you
I knew
there.
some
Sorry.
kids that were in the military, or their parents were in the military, or their dad, or whatever. But it was more of they were in the Marines, or they were in the Army, and they were active duty in Iraq or Afghanistan at the time. Because when we were in elementary
Deployed.
school was when there was
Yeah.
a lot going on over there, and a lot of soldiers were there.
When I was a kid in first grade, there was a kid that was only at our school for like 2 years because his parents are the type to move a lot. And I remember his dad actually came and spoke to our class in first grade for some reason. I don't understand. Like at the time, I remember him telling the story, and I didn't realize.
Like he was
How-
telling a war story.
No, he was a paramedic, and he was
Okay.
talking about a famous guy that he had to put into an ambulance. And he talked about how awful it was because he was such a high profile guy. And I remember growing up thinking about that story, and I was like, why did it affect him so much? Because it affected him. And he was like, yeah, I came out to talk to you kids. He's like, I don't know why he was allowed to talk to a first grade class about what he was talking about, but I think they were just like, oh, it's cool that they knew this person. I was like, okay, knew is a very, very bad term for what he was doing, loading a guy
Right.
into a paramedic van. Growing up, I was like, I never really understood the brevity of why this person meant so much to somebody. Apparently, his dad was one of the people that put Dale Earnhardt into the ambulance.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah. And it hit me when I was like 15, 16. I was like, oh man, NASCAR means a lot to some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up, I was like, I hope that guy was telling the truth because that'd be a really shitty thing to lie to kids
Have
about.
you
I was
heard
like,
the
God.
or like seen the clips of like when the wreck happened and stuff? Because
I
it
was
was
gonna
it was
say.
on. I'm pretty sure the final lap of the race when he went into the wall.
Yeah.
And Dale Jr. was in that race too, and he finished the race, and they were talking to him, like because they were clearing up the crash and stuff, and the announcers didn't know what was happening, but you could hear it in his voice because they were talking to Junior, and they were like, "What do you feel about all this?" And he was like,
Sucks.
"Yeah, it's okay. Okay, the race was good. Just all this. I'm just gonna try to get up here. I'm trying to get over to my dad right now." And he pulled up around the thing and was getting to his
Because
dad
everyone
right
was
out
like,
that.
oh, crash.
Like
okay.
his people don't know, I don't know how many people know, but yeah, his son was in that race.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
like
wasn't Dale in pretty bad shape?
It's
he
Or
was
did
he was
he?
old. He was
Okay.
he was really old,
older.
and he was older, and because of his crash is when they instituted like the fucking headsets that they have on. So when you're in the car, you're looking forward, and if you crash,
They're
you are
called a Hans
you
device.
literally your skeleton stays in place no matter what.
Right.
You're in that roll cage, so you have a very low chance of getting injured because
your body
in that
gone
race
on.
they didn't have that. You still got whiplash in the thing, and he went right into the wall and just went boom, and he was dead.
Oh,
Like
He was 49 years old at the time of the injury.
Yeah.
he was only
Wow.
49.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
He looked
pretty,
like
that's
60.
young.
He probably
Yeah.
slams Takatis on the fucking daily. That's
Dude.
probably what it does to you.
Yeah.
Dude, my dad was.
He looked like he was a
40.
party guy.
I think my dad was 50. He was 50. Yeah, still, but just about the same age. But Dale Earnhardt looked like he was
Sterling
20 years
Marlin's
older
the
than
one
that, than
put
my
him
dad
into the
was.
wall.
What'd you
He,
say,
he
Colton?
was probably a smoker too. He's a southern
Sterling
guy.
Marlin is the one that pitted him into the wall.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because he was trying to get a pass on him or something, and he hit him, and he just went. Whoom.
to a certain extent, you see that all the time in races.
It's
though.
normal in NASCAR, and it's very hard to define what a purposeful act
The
of it
cause
is.
of death was a basilar skull fracture.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit the wall and died instantly.
Oh,
Like it was.
It snapped
Yeah,
his neck from his brainstem.
yeah.
yikes!
Yeah, and you just think about how it's pretty much just really fast.
Because
Into
they
a
were
wall.
gunning it. It was the last lap of the race, and they were sending it to the finish line. And that one little bump sent him straight into the wall.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the crash compared to like modern NASCAR crash, it's not like gnarly at all. He went boom into it.
It
And
wasn't
spun
like
out
a
a little
roll,
bit.
yeah.
It wasn't like a crazy, horrific, violent crash. And when you see it,
it
but
didn't look that bad, and it wasn't till
there was no protection inside the car.
I can't remember what his name was, but he had the big hat on, and he came out to the podium. for
Richard
like,
Petty.
Yeah, and he came out to the post race and announced he was like, "It's unfortunate we have to announce that Dale Earnhardt." And everyone was like, "What? What do you
Yeah.
mean? It didn't
Big
even,
cowboy hat. That's Richard
Yeah,
Petty.
it
I'm
didn't
pretty
even
sure. That's
because
the king
if
of NASCAR.
you watch it, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, literally, he just went boom into it and spun out a couple times in the
I
car.
remember looking
stopped.
it up
It did-
whenever I looked it up for the first time, and I was like, it just didn't look that bad. And it was because high speed, even though it looked like a minor crash, there was a lot
On those
going
cameras, yeah, they were going almost 200 miles an hour. Like he hit that wall.
If you don't know how fast a NASCAR car goes, go to a race and you will see how fast those things are flying.
like people
They're
think that
traveling over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
people think that they are fast and shit when they go 150 on the highway. When it's like that's funny.
Yeah,
Drive a
no.
NASCAR with no power steering, no air conditioning, and it's just the heat of your motor while you're fucking flying at 200 miles an hour.
NASCAR's
like,
gnarly.
Around a half-mile track.
literally like it's a sport. The people who drive it, we talked about it on another podcast
Yeah.
before. The people who drive it, they're athletes. It's not easy to do.
Absolutely.
Because they're the best at what they do. Because if you put an
Most
average
of them have
Joe
to
in
have
that situation,
catheters too.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't stop to go and take a piss. You're on a fucking 6-hour racetrack, and you have to
Can you
constantly
imagine
drink.
forgetting to remove your colostomy bag and you start ripping your jumpsuit off and you go,
Like you have to. They have water in the car. They have to constantly drink because they
Yeah.
can't get out of the car, and it's fucking 200 degrees in there, and
They're not gonna
can't-
hire-
And they're in a fucking fireproof jacket. Like
they're
it's
not going to
hot
hire a
as
pit
shit.
stop guy with the Gatorade bottle upside down. Like, who needs water, huh? Who needs water? You need
You know how
water?
they have the giant gas tank that just vents open. It shoots the fucking gas into the tank. They just have the same thing with a Gatorade bottle, and they just fucking shoot it down the driver's throat.
They just fill the helmet with water so they can take licks. Like out of a cat bowl.
It's a sealed helmet, just goes up to their nose and just fucking sloshing in their face.
They're like, no, get water.
Shit.
They fill it up past their nose, so they have to at least drink some of it before they can breathe.
Yeah.
It's like stay hydrated.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was crazy for somebody that came in and talked to us when we were kids. And I was like, I still
that
think
is-
about it a lot.
That's pretty insane.
To be one of those guys, yeah, that was there. That's,
Yeah.
that's wild.
And it was just because it was such a high profile thing. Like the media
Right.
was all over it the days
Right.
after and stuff like that.
My dad he loved NASCAR, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were always his fucking. They were his people.
Yeah, my uncle.
Fucking loved them to death.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, my uncle loves it. He took my dad down because my dad thought NASCAR was stupid, and he's like, "We're going to Vegas.
I'd
We're gonna
love to go see a race.
And
It'd
so
be so cool.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
my dad was just sitting there. He's like, whatever, because the race starts, and he's like, whatever. And then when they come around that track for lap 2, he just couldn't believe it. Just went. He's like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
it's
that
like
felt
because
great.
they cruise around at like they cruise around at like 80 miles an hour or whatever when they're doing the pace lap, just getting everyone up to speed and whatever. But as soon as that fucking pit car takes away, they have to wait till they're a certain distance to the line before they're allowed to let loose, because it's technically like the people in front, if they hit the gas at a certain point before, it's a false start and everyone has to go around again.
Yep. There's
But
rules.
as soon as the fucking pit car goes away and they hit that gas, my God, I would love to have a seat right. I'd want it further back, not right up on the catch fence, because fuck that.
That's another. Crazy,
I don't want car parts flying at me at 200 miles an hour.
another
Some final
crazy
destination
Those fences will
shit.
stop them.
For sure.
Well, it'll stop the cars, but that's not going to stop little pieces of plastic and
No,
glass from flying off.
They're really tight mesh, and there's also netting in between. There's like
They-
two
they are-
layers of fence and a layer of mesh.
They are
Like,
really, really
you're
secure.
not gonna get hit.
They are very secure, but I think it was Jimmy Johnson, the Lowe's car, something like that, a few years ago.
I was just about to bring this up.
It was a really famous crash because he fucking went up and went right into the roll cage, and if the roll cage wasn't right there, that like went over onto the track a little bit, he would have went into the stands.
He would have killed a bunch of people.
If it was like 40 years before and a crash like that happened, it would have flown straight into
But
the
it's
stands.
crazy how fast that car was going, how
And it
hard you watched
stopped
it
it.
slammed in the gate,
It
and
just-
it pulled the gate back and just stopped the car in midair, and
Wow.
nobody
It
was
just
hurt.
It just caught it at 200 miles an hour and dropped it back on the track, and like a couple pieces of dust and like
See if I can
fine
find the video.
material got
Yes,
through the
please.
fence and stuff, because you can walk along that little thing of it, but literally you see it pops up, and like the photographers that were there, they probably got hit by like little pieces of dust and whatnot, but there was no life-threatening injuries to anybody there. It's fucking insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. That sounds fucking brutal because you think about
I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
it
that's
was
probably-
Jimmy Johnson.
3,500 pounds traveling at 200 miles an hour, going into the air and being caught by
And
a
then
chain link
stop.
fence.
Just comes to a fucking boom boom stop.
That's impressive
And the
engineering.
driver is
to say the
unharmed.
least.
Okay.
There has not been since we were talking about it earlier with Dale Earnhardt. Since he died and they implemented that harness and stuff, there's
Yeah.
not been a single NASCAR fatality to date. No one else has died in NASCAR.
I'll send this to
it's-
Discord.
I've seen it. It's fucking.
This is a point of view from somebody in the
I've
crowd
seen this
when
one,
the crash
yeah.
happened. This was July, I think it said 15th,
They haven't come around
2015.
yet.
We'll link this in the video in the description.
Yeah, so you can click and watch it with us.
Just watch over here to see when they start to come around to how
Uh-huh.
fast they fucking get there.
Okay.
Like, there they are. They start
Right.
to show up. They're already fucking there.
Right.
It's an insane video. It makes you
might
respect
be
the
the
sport a
next
little bit
lap.
more. Yeah. So watching crashes like that makes you respect the sport a little bit more. Because I will admit, when I was a teenager, I was like, "Fuck NASCAR, they go in the left turn."
Yeah, I hated watching it because I thought it was boring, but as I grew up, I'm like, damn.
But I definitely respect the people that watch it, or not watch it, but they race
Do it, yeah.
because it's intense. We're still watching the video. It's like a
Yeah.
2-minute video, and I started David from the beginning.
No,
But
we're
the amount
good.
of safety precautions that they have, because like it's some Final Destination shit to watch those cars come up on the gate.
Goes over. It has all that reinforcement and stuff that's like on there, and in between that's like super
Mesh.
fine mesh. Yeah.
Also, this is
Mesh and chain
2015.
link.
It's not quite where we're at in 2022, where everyone's filming everything.
Right.
Yeah, this was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe on an iPhone too.
iPhone 3 at this best, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
You see that though? Look at all those anchors
Right.
that are holding it down.
Yeah. 2015. What iPhone would that have been? I think the 6 just came out because that's when the 6s were bending.
Okay. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, I had a
remember that you
bended
had
six.
that, yeah.
Yep. Those were the days.
I remember
man.
the 6s were famous for bending, and then this.
As soon as we find it, I'll let you guys know the timestamp.
Timestamp, yeah. This guy had great seat. This is where I would love to be this, but like few seats back. Like,
Just
because of this crash, like
it looks like it's right up their front row. So yeah, I'd like to be.
they're
a
on
few,
the front row. Like
few
this is
rows
this is a
back.
walkway right there where all that's. See the camera
Right.
guy right there.
Right.
I wonder how you.
That
would
might be
There
a
it
walkway.
is.
Yep. Look at that. Fucking
Oh
right
my.
onto it.
Oh.
Only sparks went through.
So that was about a minute 55. Oh my god! And
Yeah,
it
the gate is
tore that
gone.
day.
The
Tore it,
fence
yeah.
is gone.
It completely did its job. Like that's why all those springs and shit.
But nobody in the crowd is hurt. Like at most, you might catch a little debris. At worst.
Yeah, that's all that went through. It was like sparks and smoke.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
That guy.
that's
It was right
insanely
next to this
profe-
guy, and he held his
impressive.
camera right up to it. Like he didn't have to duck or cover or anything.
He
That's
went home and said a couple Hail Marys that night. He was like, okay.
Yeah, so that looks like chain link plus suppression wire of some sort, or compression wire.
it. Kind of looks like it springs.
And
Though,
then
if it
that
gets
net.
hit, it like kind of catches
Right.
it. Like if it breaks that spring or whatever, it closes in on the net so it catches it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think-
that's insane.
And I'll look it up. I think the driver walked away. Like,
Yeah, it
they
was-
probably took him to a hospital.
I'm pretty
to,
sure it
like,
was Jimmy
check and
Johnson,
check.
but he's still racing.
Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon. Okay,
Yeah.
he might still be racing.
me see.
Yours? I have mine right.
Oh,
I'll look up Austin Dillon.
I feel
Yeah,
it.
yours should be over there.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly because you're talking about being able to catch.
Like you saw how fast that flew up there. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
5 frames that it went boom boom and the car was stopped.
Right.
There was a
I
puff
mean-
of smoke and sparks, and then the air was clear.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Mhm.
But it's a feat in engineering for sure.
Yeah, so I think it was 2 or 3 laps, and then the crash happened in the video.
Yeah, it was a little later. We'll have a link in the comments to when the crash happens.
Yeah,
and
with
you
the
can just listen to our
timestamp.
wonderful commentary.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, NASCAR's crazy, and they regulated a whole bunch. Like they limited the amount of everybody's able to tune their engines to a certain spec, right?
It's all basically
And then-
stock.
Yeah.
They're called stock cars for a reason, because they
Right.
take a Camry, they take a Camaro, but they all look the same, but on their inner skeleton model, it's the stock version.
Right.
Tuned up to the most that they're allowed to tune it up to.
Exactly.
Speaking of,
It's such a beautiful sport. Go ahead.
it is a beautiful. You know what else is a beautiful sport?
What's that?
College football week 1 started today.
Oh, really?
So this is like the first week that FBS really gets going. Like last week was week 0 when schools optionally play a week
Right.
if they really want to. Like Nevada had a game last week, but
Oh,
this
it's
week is when
optional.
everybody starts. Yeah, they call it week 0.
Okay.
So big programs like Alabama doesn't play week 0. They have no reason to because they know they're just gonna make it to the national championship or whatever.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay. I
They
understand
stunt
that.
on the rest of the fucking.
So
the
it's
rest
just
of
kind of like a teaser of all the kind of smaller teams saying, "Hey, we're here too."
Pretty much.
Because a
That's
small
cool, though.
college could pop off and become a fucking
Oh, we've seen
big
it all the
universe
time.
to
I
become a giant
love that.
university just because of their football team.
I fucking love that
Yeah.
part of college
Sin-
sports.
It
honestly.
kind of sucks that because it's a college and they're getting their funding specifically from that, but it's good when it happens because
So-
it gives a lot more opportunity for people in the area.
Yeah.
2013 and before, what they used to do in college football, because I still don't really understand college football that well because there's so many teams, but now I'm starting to understand that there's really only like 20 teams
That are
Right.
like the big ones, yeah.
that
Right.
matter. There's a top that Associated Press does a poll, and every week it changes of the top 25 teams. They get rankings from a bunch of people,
Okay.
and then they rank them from 1 to 25 based on what all these writers and all these sports journalists vote the teams at.
Yeah.
And basically all they do is they average out the total of the scores, they get a total of points, and that's how they do 1 through 25. 2013 and before, the literal national championship for college was just a certain bowl game.
Okay.
That was how it was determined. And then in 2014, they actually said, all right, we'll do a 4-team playoff. Do you know how many teams play in Division I football?
No.
Little over 200 to 300 schools, give or take.
Okay. Okay. So
So-
D1's. I'm sorry. Real quick. D1's the bottom of the barrel.
The best.
Oh. Okay.
That's where Alabama. So Alabama and Nevada both play in D1 FBS.
Oh.
Then there's D1 FCS, which is like a lower tier Division I. It's the lower tier Division I.
Well, really quick before I get shit on, I did not mean any offense by saying bottom of the barrel.
But no,
I
you're
didn't
right.
know Nevada was up there.
Yeah, we're a Division I school.
I didn't know either. That's
Um,
why I said.
I thought that both the Nevada universities were kind of lower on the bar.
Even though
there. That's
UNLV
kinda
is
cool.
hot trash, they are a Division I school.
Wow.
I feel confident calling them hot trash because they've made 4 bowl games in 41 years. So
Do we have the
they
cannon
suck.
still right
Yes, we have the cannon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Um,
If for people that don't know, the cannon every year UNLV and UNR play, and whoever wins keeps the cannon, and
And paints it.
they paint it their school's color, and they keep it till the next game next year.
Yeah, it's just.
How many years have we had the
historical
cannon? Just from the
background.
last. We've had it 2 years. Fuck yeah. Let's hopefully we'll keep it again this year.
yeah, they beat us in 2019, and that sucked because I went to that game.
I remember that. I remember
That's-
everyone was like, they took the cannon, and all the fucking football players were like,
I think
oh,
it
but that
was
was
at that game.
2019. That was after we graduated. Shit.
I went to a
Might
UNLV
have
game.
just
I don't
been
remember
you.
if it was 2018 or 19 because they flip it every year. Like we host it one year, next year they host.
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
We hosted
every
it last year.
yeah.
I went to the game last year. It was awesome because we beat the shit.
It's a
out of
great game. Yeah.
We
If
won,
anything, it's a really fun game to go.
them. Yeah, we
watch.
won like 52-20.
Don't they televise it sometimes? There's been a couple times I think that it's been just lined up with the schedule.
If one
and
of us,
they'll show the
if
cannon game.
UNR's good, we do well.
Yeah,
I say UNR, but we're the University of Nevada.
University of Nevada
Get it
Reno.
right. But we're the University of Nevada.
Yeah,
Is it-
we're
is it-
the
is it-
University
So
of Nevada.
UNLV is technically a
University of
sister branch
Las
of
Vegas,
UNR.
Nevada.
Okay.
So they both, both of them are ran by
Oh,
the
it's
Nevada
Univers-
Higher Education Board or whatever they call it. But it was the University of Nevada was started in 1868, if I'm not mistaken.
1868.
Yeah, it was started in Elko, Nevada.
That's 4 years after the state was built or established.
Yeah,
It-
so it
our
was
state
very
was
soon. Or it
established
was
in
the early
64.
1870s. I always forget. But
Wow.
I remember it was at Elko. And then after like 6 or 7 years, they moved it to Reno.
I didn't
where it's at
know.
right now.
I didn't know it was that old or
Yes.
that old of an
And
establishment. That's
UNLV
really
started early 60s. But it's a subdivision of the Nevada
1960s?
Higher Education Board.
cool. 18.
Yes.
Oh, 1960s. Okay.
UNLV's newer compared to UNR.
Yeah.
But we're the University of Nevada. They're so that's why we call ourselves University of Nevada Reno and the University of Nevada Vegas because it's a sub branch.
Right.
But we're the University of Nevada.
Hoorah, baby.
When you say Nevada, we're talking about Reno. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I was playing with some people on Hello Let's the other day, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from, Nevada?" And it's like, "Vegas? Nope." I'll give you 3 other guesses.
And you can only realistically name one other guess.
Yeah.
There's 2 options: Carson City or Reno, because they're the only 2 other
if you're-
technically major cities in Nevada.
If you're not
There's
from
3.
Northern Nevada, you probably couldn't name a city outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
Like some people were like, "Oh, I know Reno," but it's like name another city
So
besides
in
Reno.
Vegas, I know Vegas and Henderson,
Yep.
and I know Tonopah and Goldfield out there. That's not close to it. On the southern, they're at least on the more the
Tonopah's
southern.
the halfway point.
Yeah, it's a halfway point, and then Goldfield's a little past that. And I know there's a turnoff to Death Valley at some point going down that road. And other than that, yes, Southern Nevada is nuclear test sites.
Yeah.
That's something that I should check out in flight simulators. Fly over the nuclear test sites and see if the craters are in the game.
That'd be sick.
That'd be really cool.
So in 2014, what college football did was they started the national football, the college football playoffs,
Okay.
where they take 4 teams out of the top 300. What? 4? A 4-team playoff? And it's kind of bogus because it's realistically the same 10 teams making the playoffs every year.
Right.
What is it? The University of Cincinnati, they broke ground last year. They made their first college playoff run because
Really?
the Bearcats went 13-0. And a bunch of people are like, these guys beat actually, decent, good schools. They deserve a shot in the national playoffs because they went 13-0. It's not like they were realistically, if an FCS team were to go to undefeated, like North Dakota State, they wouldn't be in the national playoffs because they're not facing top Division I schools that are in
Right.
the FBS.
Maybe they can move up a division though.
If North Dakota State keeps playing very well, because that's where Carson Wentz came from. And he was
Oh.
almost an MVP in 2017 and helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl. And that's where Trey Lance is from, North Dakota State.
Whoa.
And that's an FCS school. And he had a crazy season. I think he had 28 touchdowns, no interceptions a few years ago.
That's
Wow.
fucking wild.
That's why the Niners picked him, is because they're like, Carson Wentz came from that school, and Carson Wentz looked elite until he went to the Colts. And then Trey Lance came from the same university, and he's also playing stupid well. So they were like, this kid has potential.
That's insane. Okay, so move on, but we're gonna go
Yeah.
back to that.
But basically, it's kind of like March Madness, where it's like, realistically, there's only a couple teams that are going to really win it every year.
Right.
There's not a lot of teams that are really like gonna make it to the finals, because I remember this guy made a video on YouTube with the March Madness bracket. He's like, the bracket is called, it's a loser machine. You get 64 teams and you have to tell 32 of them to go home as losers in the first round.
Right.
And then in the next round, you're going to eliminate another 16. So in 2 games played by each team, you're getting rid of 2/3 of the bracket.
Right.
Most people show up to lose, especially teams that are ranked like 16, 15, and 14. Realistically, they're not supposed to win.
Yeah.
You know how many times a 16 seed beat a number 1?
Probably less than 10.
Once.
Oh
was
my
in-
gosh.
I think it was in 2019, and when it happened, it was fucking hilarious. The University of Maryland, Baltimore College,
I remember that
UMBC,
bracket.
was ranked 16th in their bracket. They beat number 1 Virginia. Virginia
Right.
was projected to win it all,
I remember
and
because
they
my
got
lab
upset.
my lab always does fucking brackets.
Busted
and
everybody's.
It busted everybody.
Nobody had UMBC winning.
No.
Nobody. Like, I think ESPN said they had like a couple hundred brackets left after that game.
Yeah.
That's
on that
wild.
game,
insane.
on that game alone.
Do you know how much more money those people won that picked that though? Whoever the winner was, because they picked that
They
decision.
said, I
That's
think
fucking,
I think they said nobody ended up making it to the second round, the round
Wow.
of 32,
Wow.
because that game busted so many brackets, because the 16 literally never beat the 1. Everybody always picks the 1 to beat the 16 unless you're dumb and you
Right.
think you don't like money. You know? Yeah. I think
Oh my.
yeah. So whatever. But the college football playoffs it's 4 teams. So the same 4 teams make it every year. Cincinnati broke ground last year, and it was kind of a big deal. They announced that they're going to expand it to 12, which is better
Okay.
in the year 2026, because they have to wait for their television deal with ESPN to end so that they can expand it to more teams and get more games on TV. And I was
Okay.
like, that sucks.
That does suck.
But at least they're doing something about it, because you know what the highest Nevada's ever been ranked in the AP rankings?
17?
It was just after we beat Boise.
Okay.
State?
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
'cause
gonna
it-
re-guess.
Here's the thing: we've beat Boise State once in the last 30 years, and we last beat them when Kaepernick was on the team because Kaepernick was fucking.
Oh,
When everybody, I know people talk about, they have their opinions about Kaepernick, but Kaepernick at Nevada fucking lit it.
No,
up.
That's
he-
why
he
the Niners
killed.
picked him.
He
Yeah,
was a
he was
monster.
fucking amazing.
He's a
killed.
hometown hero here. He fucking
Yeah,
lit him up.
Literally, yeah. He's a local celebrity here for us people in Reno. He went to UNR.
Yeah. So guess what
yeah.
Nevada was ranked as?
7.
7.
Wow, good
We
guess.
were 7.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the
okay.
fucking bracket, dude. I was like,
Because
oh my
we-
god, Dad, 7. He's
Everyone-
all, I know.
Because we finally beat Boise, and Boise was ranked higher than us. So obviously we bumped up a little bit.
All I have to say
Yeah.
about Boise is their field is really fucking stupid.
it is, right?
It's they're like, hey, look at us. We're almost the Broncos. We're a horse and we painted our color the same. Like, fuck off.
We haven't beat Boise since
That's
Kaepernick
wild.
was playing for Nevada.
They are a great team, and I'm not dishing them on that. Their field is
They're good.
dog awful.
Yeah.
Their field is it
It's-
stands out and it's popular. I get it for the media, but Jesus
It's-
Christ, it's probably one of the worst fucking fields to play on if you're an away team.
It screams, I'm trying.
I love Derek
Broncos
Carr
notice us.
on the Raiders,
Yeah,
but it hurts because he played for Fresno, and we fucking hate Fresno.
yeah. My dad always liked that he came from
I grew up
Fresno.
an hour south of Fresno, so I like
Yeah.
Fresno State.
Yeah, there you go.
Our family
We're
was
Nevada
from
homeboys.
Visalia too. Like we, Fresno's a pretty common.
In Nevada, it's
city.
always what are the teams that we beat?
That was me.
Oh,
Give us 1 second.
That was just the mixer.
but we're gonna pause real quick. No, okay, cool. I'm gonna continue. But as Nevada fans, the teams we beef with are Colorado State, Boise, and Fresno. Sometimes San Diego State. Because what is it? Colorado State hired our football head coach from last year, which was awesome because
Really?
they had a game on ABC this morning. You know what it was? It was Michigan State versus Colorado State, or not Michigan State, Michigan versus Colorado State.
Wow.
And I was like, oh look, it's our old head coach. They got whooped like 51-7.
Oh,
I was like,
fuck.
Dude,
cool.
college football is brutal because there's just like barely any common things in the plays.
Yeah, so
many trick plays and so many bullshit things that happen that you would never see in the NFL. You could just
Yeah.
get away with in college, and
Yeah.
I think that's why it's kind of popular because people. It's really fun to watch.
Oh yeah. So Pat McAfee, what he was talking about, because this is a real thing in college football. Week 1, a lot of the bigger schools, what they do is they throw a lot of money at smaller schools, and they'll tell them, they'll say, "Hey, we'll pay you a bunch of money. We'll pay for you guys to come up here and play us in a game in week 1." They do that for 2 reasons. One, they're like, "Oh, you guys are a small university. You're going to take the money. That's why we're paying you." And 2, you guys are bad, and we're going to fucking whoop you in week 1 so that we can just get to 1-0 and then make ourselves look really good.
Right.
A lot of teams do that.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
For example, there's a game going on right now. It's you ready for this?
Yeah.
Texas versus UL Monroe.
Monroe, where is that based?
Fucked if I know. I'd have to look it up.
Monroe.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
ULM is what it's
continue.
called.
Washington.
UL
Could be.
Monroe.
Don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know Monroe or
Texas is winning 52-3 right now.
oh my fucking
52 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
They have a chance. I mean, it's only
It's just a
it's only
fucking-
almost 40 points.
It's a fucking field trip, dude.
It's a
Baylor.
39 point.
So Baylor's ranked number 10. They played Albany,
Okay.
and that was being streamed live on ESPN Plus. That game ended 69-10.
Oh my
Jesus.
fucking god.
Arkansas State played Grambling. They won 58-3.
Jesus, dude, these sound like the Madden scores that I get on my games because I play on easy difficulty.
No shit.
Like,
Number 1, Alabama played Utah State. They won 55-0.
oh my!
Oh, dude.
So they
I thought it was bad when fucking Texans blew us out in the preseason.
Yep.
I only thought this is great because it's preseason and it's the Texans.
They're
Oh.
just-
But
that's
and
cold.
then Hawaii invited Vanderbilt, and
Who?
Vanderbilt, they're a bigger school.
where are they at?
Fuck if I know. I want to say
Yeah.
Virginia. I don't remember. Vanderbilt won 63-10.
Wow, college football's wild, dude.
It's crazy.
The schools that are good know it, and the schools that aren't really kind of lose their confidence in those games.
I can't
Like-
sit here and trash on teams because we play Iowa in 2 weeks, and we're gonna get our fucking shit rocked because Iowa's gonna.
Are we going to Iowa or is Iowa coming?
We're going
here?
to Iowa.
Okay, yeah.
Iowa though, they don't look as intimidating because today they scored 7 points and won. They won 7-3.
Wow.
But
To
they
who?
fuck, it's some
Sorry.
smaller university.
Yeah,
Okay,
compared to the
football.
scores that you
Never
just
mind then,
showed, that's
continue.
wild.
I'm sorry. Never mind. Continue. If
But
it's
anyway,
small.
they won 7-3,
Yeah.
and they scored 7 points. They beat South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits.
Okay.
They won by kicking a
Nobody.
field goal and then scoring 2
No offense.
safeties.
The fucking
They didn't even
Jackrabbits.
score a touchdown. So I feel better about Nevada playing Iowa only because they shit the bed against South Dakota State.
Right.
South Dakota State is
So the Jackrabbits beat Iowa?
no.
Oh, the
Iowa
other way
won.
Okay.
But if the Jackrabbits would have just scored a touchdown, they would have won.
Right.
Because Iowa didn't score a touchdown.
The
Right.
name like the Jackrabbits. Sorry, just to pull off a little bit. If you've seen Shoresy, their hockey team is called the Sadberry Blueberry Bulldogs.
Right.
And that's exactly what it made me think of. The fucking Jackrabbit.
A bunch of jack-offs.
Whacking off.
They're probably girls are great people, but sorry, that's a horrible name for a football team.
Yeah, it really is.
It's almost worse than the Commanders.
That is a
What-
bad name.
That's
It
what
is.
they are officially now, right? The
Yep.
Commanders. They're not the football team. They're the
The
Good luck
Commanders.
to them.
What does
I'll
their
be
logo look like? I haven't seen it yet.
It's the same W. They just put a yellow stencil on it, like like
So
an
it's-
army stencil pattern. They
so it's
kept
still the same as the
W.
football team.
Yeah. So you know that burgundy W? They just added a yellow, like the old
Like
the Washington
the
yellow.
colors, yeah, the red and
it's
gold,
a gold.
yeah.
It's burgundy and gold is
Yeah.
what they were.
Okay. That's
I don't know.
wild. Because they still play at FedEx, right?
Yeah. I can't remember if that's the name of the stadium still or not, but
I'm,
yeah.
pretty,
that's
I'm
what-
pretty sure it's still FedEx Field.
Okay. It might still be. It's
That-
the shittiest
the-
field in the NFL.
Last that I saw, it's still called FedEx.
Yeah.
But fuck,
They're trying to lobby to get a new stadium.
they should because that stadium is fucking thick.
What ultimately made them change their name was just after the George Floyd protest.
Yeah.
And FedEx threatened to pull their name off the stadium.
A lot of stuff changed after all that. Yeah, that was one of the biggest civil rights kind of
It was a
things that
movement.
happened in the last decade.
Earnhart
Yeah.
Beige changed his gamer tag. That's how serious it was. 'Cause
Literally, he
his-
was brown, man, and he was justified to say that because he's Puerto Rican. He's fucking brown. But that happened. He was like, you know what?
I should probably change it
Yeah,
because his whole marketing was around him being brown man. I think he had a
fucking Puerto Rican pullout.
he had to message Twitch and get his name changed on Twitch and stuff like that so that he could switch his handle and his URL.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was nice that Twitch was willing to work with him. They're not like, no, you're stuck with it.
Yeah,
No, Lamau.
that's good. They were probably in the midst of changing all their stuff too, like where everyone
He
like.
owns Frame Rate Merch. That's the company that he runs now.
Oh, he has something cool.
He makes enamel pins and merchandise that
Fuck
circulate
yeah.
around his Twitch channel and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. If you check out the enamel pins, it's not all Ray stuff. It's like cool gaming things that you can own.
Yeah,
So I like sometimes because like sometimes I think about buying a Rooster Teeth shirt and I'm like, I don't want a big Rooster Teeth logo on my shirt. Like I just don't. I'm 23.
if
I don't
it was
need that
like
anymore.
if it was 10, 15 years ago, yeah, sure. Well, Red
When I was
versus
in high
Blue.
school and shit,
Well,
yeah.
Red versus Blue was still a show that they were making before Monty died. Like that was a big turning point in Rooster Teeth too when fucking
Yeah.
Monty Ohm died.
Because right around when Monty Ohm passed was
Red versus Blue wasn't the
when
same
they
after that.
sold
yeah.
the company to a multimedia, like when YouTube's
I didn't know
getting
that they
notices.
sold it.
Yeah, Bernie and Matt got together and they decided to sell the company to a marketing company that's in charge of media and stuff.
Is that what led to like that huge layoff there and all that?
Basically, what happened was they wanted to expand the company like a lot, and they tried dipping their hands in so many pots that it came down to we needed to, because that was when was it kind of funny? No, Couch Hop ended,
Okay.
and a couple of their other partner channels with like the Rooster Teeth Achievement Hunter Network started going under.
Uh-huh.
And then they let off a bunch of employees at the end of the year because they were like, oh, we're not expanding as much as we thought we were. We're going to have to let a lot of people go.
Yeah, because they moved from like that small office to a big like hangar studio to an even bigger hangar studio kind of thing.
Actually, no, they moved from 636 to their current place.
Oh, they
It was
didn't.
Achievement
That's
Hunter just
right.
moved offices.
That's right, because it's like that big hangar place. They never moved past that.
I
That's
think they
still where
moved
they're at.
into a smaller place now.
They
Like,
probably did
they're somewhere
downsize. Yeah,
smaller, yeah.
I haven't kept up with Achievement Hunter in a while.
Because
just
what they did was they kind of bought like a studio lot, like like you go to Hollywood Studios and they have like all the lots where you can film a bunch of different productions.
Yeah, it's literally just a giant empty building that you can.
That's
throw
kind of
whatever
what
in.
they were going for, but they never got the ground running and became that big. They wanted to become a big media company, and that's just not what they were.
Yeah.
They kind of lost sight on why they were popular was because they felt personal. Like you watch old Let's Plays from 2013, like you go back and watch the Far Cry 3 co-op video, it felt like you were playing with them.
Dude, all their old Let's Plays, all their like
Yeah.
off topic and their Rooster Teeth podcast before and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
you really did feel connected to them, even if you had like no interaction with their anything. Like, even if you weren't part of the RT community, you still could just watch their videos, and it's like you can learn these people and fucking. That's why I watch Minecraft episodes at 100 to 150 religiously every single Friday.
I
That
was,
was Vanoss for me.
hell yeah.
I remember Vanoss. I hopped on that train for a minute and then I hopped off. 'Cause
Yeah.
his videos were very copy paste. There wasn't a lot of
He was hilarious. I remember every time
they were very funny.
he
Yeah,
uploaded, I clicked on that video. I was like, I have to watch the newest Vanoss video.
they were hilarious.
It was
and
for
I'm
the
not saying
laughs.
that. Yeah, but it got repetitive.
Do banana bush.
I am part of an elite squad known as the Dingling Banana. Don't laugh, you make me giggle. Okay.
I remember when I subscribed to them, and I remember he popped up in my sub box for like a few months, and I don't remember why I subscribed to him. And it was because when the Xbox One came out, he played Dead Rising 3 with Delirious, and I watched
H2O Delirious.
and
yeah.
I watched all those videos, and I remember subscribing, going, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to check out his videos later." And he
Right.
kept popping up on my sub box, and I was like, I don't want to watch these videos, so I always skipped over them. And then one day I just clicked on it again because I was like, why am I subscribed to this guy? And it's funny because I found out later that year when I started watching Vanoss, he actually did a video for White Boy 7th Street a couple years before. And White Boy 7th Street was like the biggest Call of Duty YouTuber in 2011. I would say who's bigger than anybody because he was
Bigger
always
than Mr. Burns.
yeah, because he was most favorited on YouTube when YouTube still had a most favorited section on their homepage.
Yep.
Like I'm that old into watching YouTube as I remember when there was top subscribed, like it would always display channels that were the most subscribed for the day, the week. And then there was most liked and there was most favorited back when favoriting a video meant something.
Right.
I think you can add videos to playlists now, but I don't think there's a favorite
Because
section.
it was like, comment, and favorite. Before it was more of like, comment, and subscribe.
'Cause
People
well,
wanted you to favorite the
It used to be
videos.
5 stars and favorite.
Yeah. There was actual ratings that went down on there, yeah.
I can't remember when they changed it to like dislikes, but White Boy was always at the top favorited because he would always be like, I'm giving away PS3 headsets. Make sure you favorite this video and leave a comment down below. And he was always on the front page because of it. And his videos were blowing up. And he ended up, like, the reason that Vanoss actually got exposure was because he made a music video for White Boy that White Boy put on his channel.
Wow.
So if you go back and you look up It Doesn't Matter, but
Yeah.
a song by White Boy 7th Street, in the top right is a big Vanoss Gaming watermark. Because
Wow.
Vanoss actually made it for him.
Wow.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's like I think the earliest you can like pinpoint his success to.
That's fucking rad, though.
Yeah.
Fucking just thinking about that. I don't always mean to have a tangent about Markiplier, but I seem to always do. But just it's kind of a similar thing. His editor Elixion.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever like watched any of Markiplier's recent videos and stuff, but his editor is fucking hilarious. He fucking just has like a vision and shit. He's able to edit shit and just fucking make it funny. And he became his editor because I could be wrong about this, but way back before, like when Markiplier was starting his channel and stuff, he was just a fan, and he made like Markiplier animated videos from like his Let's Plays and stuff. If you've ever seen like Let's Players that their fans did that,
Okay.
and then they posted like the animated reactions kind of for the Let's Play and whatnot. It's just like a little 3-minute video from a Let's Play. He made a bunch of stuff like that, and then eventually he's now one of Markiplier's 3 editors. But he's like, if you watch a Markiplier video, he'll just be, if he's just reacting to himself in the thing, he'll be like, "Hey, Lixian," and he'll just be talking to himself over his corner, and Lixian will fucking animate a little like black and white dude into the fucking frame, and just like, "Hey, yeah," and just fucking react to it and shit.
That's good though. Did you see the shit that's going down with Markiplier?
I have seen a bunch of that. We were talking
He
about that the other day.
Is
Yeah.
coming in defense of Corey Kenshin, and I agree with that.
Because Mark,
me too.
he has always been there was a time before that where it was a similar situation and someone got a strike on their video. And if you're
And-
a YouTube video, it's 3 strikes and your channel's gone.
Yes.
And someone got a strike on their video, and Markiplier posted the exact same thing, and he was basically like, dude, you're going to give it to him, but not me? It's like, what the fuck is going on? And YouTube's response was, okay, well, strike your video, but
Yep.
nobody else's because you made a big deal about it. And he's like, this isn't what I wanted. It's like, if you're making a big deal about it and your fucking algorithm is
Favoritism.
favoritism because of creators of their fucking race,
Profiles.
their race and fucking just how they have their channel, and it's automated to do that, fix it. Don't ban me because of it. And now it's led back into that because that guy made the Mortuary's Assistant video where it has to do with self-harm and suicide and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why his video got flagged. And he put up that video about it. And I've seen a bunch of people put up videos now. It's like, try not to get demonetized challenges.
Pretty much
and
what
shit.
happened was Corey X Kenshin was like, my video got striked, but Markiplier's didn't.
And it was the
what
exact same
happened
video.
Is YouTube, he argued that YouTube almost never picks up their copyright strikes. Like, it's a
Right.
very rare case for them to pick up a strike.
Him and Jacksepticeye did it back and forth too with the try not to get
Demonetized. challenge.
demonetized.
Yeah, they did it a
challenge.
couple
Yeah.
times, yeah.
But
Yeah.
what happened was he was like, why did my channel get a strike and Markiplier's didn't? And he actually got his strike lifted. Corey
Right.
X Kenshin
He
for a
got
minute.
striked for that video?
He got striked for his initial video before he called out YouTube. And basically,
I thought-
Corey
I
Kenshin,
thought it
and
was-
then what happened was Markiplier came to his defense.
I don't, just real quick,
And
I
then
don't think it
somebody
was a
at YouTube
strike. I think it was just,
It was a strike.
no, it was a flag. It was age
Oh,
restricted.
something like that.
It was age restricted.
Age
Well,
restricted.
yeah.
It wasn't flagged, but it was age
stri-
restricted.
Got it. I
it's
misremembered it.
Same thing, because the strike is like very, very bad. But
Yeah.
it was his video was
Right.
age restricted and Markiplier's wasn't.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
he somehow got his unage restricted. Then it got re-age restricted.
And now Markiplier
And then
is
they
age
age restricted Markiplier. And
Yeah.
they're like, so why did it take you so long to get to his? And you just kept picking on my video. And then Markiplier responded. It wasn't just the video that he put up. He did that during a live stream. It was YouTube's Game On event where they had YouTubers like live stream a video.
Yeah, because he
Either
was a
they
part
would-
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they either live
Yeah.
streamed or they came on with the video that they produced. And Markiplier, I think, worked overtime with his editor to make the try not to get age restricted challenge. Which is what
Did
it
you
was.
watch that video?
It's fucking
It's-
hilarious.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
He played a game called, it's on Steam, called Orc Massage Simulator. And you're an orc massaging weird hentai anime girls.
The
And it
only
sounds
reason-
exactly like that. And it's the video is like 90% fucking blurred and just him going to Lixie and being like, Lixie, we're getting banned, Lixie. And Lixian's like, oh my God.
I trust my
hilarious.
editor, right? And it's like him staring at the camera going, I trust you, right?
Fucking great, yeah.
And I love it because he's just taking shots at YouTube the whole time, like indirectly. He never said anything. He never directed any of his anger towards YouTube.
Right.
The entire
It's all
video
passive
was
aggression,
passive
yeah.
aggression, and the entire video was censored. I think the video made it like 10 minutes into the live stream, and YouTube cut it.
Yeah.
They cut the live stream immediately, and Markiplier got mad, so he just uploaded it to his channel. And the video is still not age restricted.
Yeah.
But the mortuary's
That's
assistant
fucking
was
wild.
on both those guys' channels.
Correct.
And literally, I watched those videos. It's a hanging person.
Yeah.
It's literally a person that's hanging, and then they like jump scare you and grab you while they're hanging. It's like, you fucking bastard, bitch, and then you go back to fucking embalming bodies. And that's literally the one scene in the fucking. I could be wrong about that. There might have been other scenes because that game is kind of deep about it. It has a kind of dark backstory to it, but it's
Correct.
there's thousands of videos that Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, so many other people have put out that it's so much worse content in video games.
Yeah.
Right.
It's completely out there.
Yeah.
Monetized. Totally fine. Like, it's wild.
Yep. Yeah, YouTube's a different world now.
Remember when there was no ads and it was just people, you were broadcasting yourself. It was their mantra. It said YouTube, broadcast yourself. No ads, you just fucking uploaded videos.
The reason they're upset is because it used to be a very user-oriented program. It was what the users wanted to see. It's what the users wanted to.
It was honestly like
Almost
kind
like
of
the same thing.
competition to like MySpace
It
and
was-
stuff like
it was
that.
what they
like,
wanted to put
make
up.
it you.
It was what they wanted to put up, and people that wanted to watch it watched it.
Right.
And the front page was curated around what people were liking at the time. Like I said, it used to have the most favorites.
Yep.
Before people started exploiting it, it was a good way to find new content because if somebody found a really cool viral video, it'd be on the front page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they became memes because everybody was checking them out. Like, hey, this video is awesome.
It was a
Right.
video that someone uploaded on a small little computer and it ended up blowing up to 2 million views and they
And
were able to live off of that
The
video.
problem with Google purchasing it and wanting to put ads on the platform is now they have to monitor it because they're under a lot of scrutiny if something goes wrong with YouTube. It's the
Right.
same reason that Twitter cut Vine ultimately. Vine got to a point where it's just shitpost heaven, and all the pioneers that made the app moved elsewhere. So it was only this really niche, dark like content that was being uploaded to it, and it was hurting Twitter's reputation. Instead of fixing it, they went, "We don't need to do this because all of our top creators left. We're gonna fold it." The problem with YouTube is Google paid a lot for YouTube, and they're making a lot of money off of YouTube. So you've got to play by YouTube's rules now. They've changed the rules so that they don't hurt that money. And that's why you see like, I remember, I think it was Moist Critical made a point where it was like these big media companies like NBC, they repost talk shows and people can talk about whatever they want and some celebrities can do whatever they want on the platform. And that's because they have the protection of these big companies that are able to throw a lot of money at YouTube and go, hey, we want people to see this shit. don't do anything weird with it.
Yeah.
So their channels get kind of a slight protection. Like
Right.
Kendrick Lamar's newest video, he's got 2 music videos. He's got the We Cry Together and then We Cry Together Uncensored. And the only difference between the 2 music videos is him stripping a girl naked and just fucking doggy style on the couch at the end of the music video.
And it's just up there.
And it's on YouTube. It's
not age restricted.
Last I checked, it wasn't age restricted.
That's wild.
has a
That's
big-
that's
Fucking
fucking.
what?
That's gross. That's not age restricted.
That's why I sent it
Like,
to the
no
group
matter-
chat. I was like, did I just really
like-
see Kendrick Lamar's ass
like-
cheeks today?
Not like you can post whatever the fuck you want if it's there, it's whatever. But the fact that they allowed that, like,
And I think that's fine because it's art. But when you're
you can make
picking on
whatever
other people,
you can literally make whatever you want. Yeah, but yeah, the fucking they need to
There's-
fix their algorithm.
The line is crooked and it's wavy.
A
and it's
hanging
weird.
person that's possessed by a demon in a psychological dream in one game gets age restricted, but bare ass cheeks fucking a couch.
Logan Paul wasn't punished by YouTube at all for his video.
Which one?
When he went to the Japanese.
Oh,
website
that's
first.
right. Yeah,
He wasn't
fuck
punished.
that video.
Period. Because he makes the platform a lot of money.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense because people like Corey Kenshin also bring in a lot of money along with Markiplier, but they don't bring in as much money as some other creators,
Right.
Yeah,
which
just,
is when the favoritism starts.
Right.
just a little
Part
note.
of that though is because
Hmm.
with him finding the body in the Japanese forest is actually what instituted YouTube to put a lot of these policies into place.
Yeah, because the dumb motherfucker was like, I found a dead body. Let me just post this here where anyone can see it. Like,
Do you remember when they were talking about like the adpocalypse? Like a bunch of people did pull their ads. Like Logan Paul wasn't punished, but it did change YouTube, like Colton said, with the policies that they enabled after something like that happened.
Right.
yeah, we're posting this to YouTube too. Come on, YouTube, you're gonna look through this. Someone somewhere. Come on, fix your shit.
Somebody might. It's okay. We do this for ourselves, okay?
There's
But
been a
you-
massive outrage about it though, because like we've been talking about, it's just it's completely. There's definitely some favoritism, and it is serving some people just completely unfair. Because
Yeah, and it was-
Corey Kenshin is a good entertainer, and he's got a good channel with a lot of content, and he's treated completely different because of one fact, and that's because he doesn't pull as much money as Markiplier. At least that's how it seems to all of us looking from the outside.
Yeah, because Jacksepticeye made a video too. Because Corey's video too, he had a, I wouldn't say strong point, but he was implying that it was racially, like part of the algorithm because
Right.
he was black and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying it's untrue. You know, that's if it's
up to interpretation.
if it's a computer algorithm. I'm not a computer expert, and I don't know who made it, so I can't give a valid opinion. You know, but Jack made a good point too that one of the reasons that Mark's video and his wasn't, or Mark's video wasn't and his was age restricted, is because Mark has had a lot of ties with YouTube. He's made In Space with Markiplier. He made A Heist with Markiplier, and a bunch of like in-depth series and
YouTube
stuff like
originals.
that. And exactly, YouTube originals. And so there might have just been some kind of flag on his channel. It's like, oh, he's making this. He's not going to post anything that's breaking our rules, kind of. And
Yep.
so,
Right.
sorry, his the algorithm just kind of glosses over his videos rather than scrubbing through it and making sure it's
Yeah.
something to demonetize or not.
I think he's right on that point.
Because that's more. It absolutely could have been racially thing in this day and age because it's a problem that still needs to be fixed. It's a shame that it's fucking going backwards sometimes more than it should be going forward. But in this case, yeah, when it comes to YouTube stuff, he is a big creator, and
Right.
that could have been something that led into it.
I think there's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that could ruin YouTube. It's if Moist Critical and Markiplier ever got together, because I don't think they've ever collabed on a video. They could get together with like the 3rd horseman is a Minecraft YouTuber, and then bring in a famous TikToker and go start another platform
Yeah,
and
literally.
drag everybody over there.
Yeah.
They could. They absolutely have the power. So Dream, Moist Critical, and Markiplier all get together and
Absolutely.
they grab a famous TikToker and they go, "Hey, we're
Just
gonna
make a new YouTube.
We're gonna make a new YouTube."
They absolutely could in this day and age, and I'm just kind
They
of
have the
sitting and
followers.
waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that to happen, honestly. In the back of my head, that's
Linus is doing that already.
Linus
Tech
is?
Tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his media platform called Floatplane, although it's a subscription based service.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's honestly where the future of a lot of content is moving, where they're like, we
Right.
have the freedom to do what we want, pay a small subscription to be able to watch these videos. That's why I see
Right.
Patreon blowing up. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. His name's DankPods. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him.
No.
He just reviews MP3 players and earbuds and headphones and things that interest him in those like similar departments.
Right.
Who the fuck uses an MP3 player in this day and age? We
but
have
the-
cell phones.
So
iPod Shuffle.
he's a huge iPod guy, and his channel really started during the pandemic when he would just talk about
Okay.
iPods, and then he decided to start messing with them. So he took an iPod, like I think 3rd generation, and he wanted to see if he could make it 4 terabytes, because they have SD cards in them. That's how the iPod operates. He was like, oh, what if we just put 4 1 terabyte micro SD cards in them? And
What?
he was just experimenting with stuff like that, and it was funny, and people started watching him. So he was like, oh cool, I have these other MP3 players that you want to see, from years and years ago. His shtick is really, he looks at really shitty ones and how awful they are. And then his other thing is he likes to get weird speakers that came out in the mid 2000s. Like, do you remember like iDogs? Like, you remember you plugged your MP3 player into this fucking dog
Yeah, the little
robot?
dog robot.
Yeah, and it would
Oh.
dance and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, there were even worse gimmicks that came out at that time, so he likes to review those. Headphones that look like cheese wedges in your ears, he reviews those. And what he does is he has an amplifier that he plugs these bitches into, and he blows out the earbuds on camera. So he has this maniacal laugh when he's sitting there talking about things. It's a very simple channel, and it's, you know what you're getting. You're getting this
Right.
Australian guy that's sitting there yelling about these iPods and headphones. And then sometimes he's got a snake named Frank, and he always points at it, and he goes, "Don't you look at me weird, Frank."
Fucking A.
He's really funny. I checked his Patreon one day. He has 32,000 patrons that are,
Wow.
and I think it
for
said his
him.
bottom line was he was making 40,000 a month on patrons only,
Good for him.
because he would
Hell
do
yeah.
streams that only patrons could watch, and because he was blowing up these last 2 years, people want to watch his streams. So you pay $1 a month, you can watch his stream. This guy is making 40,000 US dollars a month playing drums on the live
That's
stream
so
and just
cool.
talking about MP3 players and music. And I'm like, that's
Yelling at a snake.
yeah. And his snake Frank. Well, I think now he just set up a 24/7. Let me see. He's teasing that he's gonna set up a 24/7 camera that's just looking at his
It's just
snake.
Frank's tank.
Yeah, the Frank's tank.
Power of the imagination.
Yeah.
It does wonderful things. It's beautiful.
There's a lot of cameras like that too that are just the 24-hour live streams, like certain animals at zoos and stuff, or like,
Yeah.
or even on I-80. There's
Yeah.
on the highways that go in and out up through the Sierras and stuff. There's
I
live
used to
cameras at
watch-
24/7s because they
Right.
have them up in case snow comes in and stuff,
Yep.
and traffic reports and
Fire.
whatnot. Yeah.
I used to watch like live 24-hour cameras of like owls up in nests.
That's
Somehow
cool.
they would like make a nest, and then if the owl would, I don't know how to or what the exact wording is, but just nest up there. You get the 24-hour camera of like the babies coming out of the eggs and shit. That was cool.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. Yeah, he streams. He doesn't stream on Twitch or YouTube. He streams on Floatplane.
Float
Huh.
plane.
Yeah,
That's
the
Linus's.
Yeah.
Okay. Float plane. Okay, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, he did a stream yesterday for the 2nd of September. It was just called a garbage stream. Oh, and I see what the Frank thing is. So he makes it look like a Windows XP desktop, and he's got 5 different cameras. He's got one aiming at him, one aiming at his feet where he's playing his drums, one at his snake Frank, and then whatever's going on his computer.
That's sick.
He's pretty cool. I really enjoy his videos. So, yeah, it says the best $2.80 stream around 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And what's this guy's name again?
Dank Pods.
Dank Pods.
He's
Okay.
hilarious. If you guys haven't watched his videos, like I got Cyrus starting to watch some of his videos, and he's just funny the way he screams at shit.
For sure. I love it. I mean, yeah.
When the cameras turn off, I'll show you one of his videos where he like he hasn't got his hands on them,
Yeah.
but he was talking about these SpongeBob headphones, and they look like his eyeballs, and the sounds he was making while he was showing the photos was fucking hilarious.
Okay, for sure.
He's just ew, oh my ear.
For sure.
He's a very
sure.
funny man. I aspire to be as funny as him someday.
Fucking A.
Love
So
Dank Pods.
Cyrus,
Yeah.
you recently purchased Saints Row. How
Yeah.
are you liking it so far?
Oh, it's buggy. Oh, don't. I agree.
There's bugs.
The only thing that pisses me off is the driving is very bad. I think
So
when you get used to driving, when you do like you hold left trigger and A and you do the instant turns,
Right.
when you get used to
So-
that, it's a lot easier. But sometimes, like I'll be driving a dirt bike and you hit a little bump in the road, and I'm pirouetting, like flying off in the air until I hit the ground again because it's just
I laugh.
the physics
I
are
laugh when
wonky.
that shit happens. But
It is funny
with
until you're
the,
doing a mission.
with
Right.
the A button,
Yeah.
press and hold it before you want to start your turn.
Yeah.
And then, so the way it works is while you're holding down the A button,
Mhm.
you are constantly drifting.
The only reason that I have a complaint with the driving is because I think 3 and 4 perfected the driving in Saints Row. It wasn't, I guess, more realistic like GTA 5's driving is. They made it arcadey, but it still flowed and it worked when you wanted to turn and stuff. They
Instead of an
It's a down-
e-brake, it's a drift button, and that's where the problem is. Everybody's assuming it's an e-brake,
well, it's very cool.
and that's where the problem
It's
is.
more of an
Right.
instant J turn. Like you can instantly turn around real quick if you're driving
Yep.
on a big enough road.
Okay.
If you're off road and you don't have an off road kit on your vehicle, yeah, good luck. But
Yeah,
the turning
that's a
radius
nightmare.
on some cars, awful. If you're not using that instant J turn feature, you're not turning.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not without backing up 5 times.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I had that problem a little bit. I got this really cool game clip. It was a mission where you're talking to the guy where you want to buy the church, but he won't give you the deed,
Okay.
right? You know what I'm talking about, Colton?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yep.
so you want to buy this deed from this guy. So what you do is you get in a car and you terrify him by drifting everywhere. You drive in oncoming traffic. And then the last one is you jump over a bunch of jumps and you have to get a certain amount of airtime. And then he's like, fine, I'll just give it to you. Well, at the end of the mission, they go, okay, cool. We don't need you anymore. Get out. And my character said that dialogue right as I flew off of a ramp. I was doing a 360 in midair and he just hopped out of the car and fucking went flying. And he ragdolled into the floor. And I was like, that was fucking sick. I love that.
Oh fuck.
And then my game got stuck on a loading screen. I had to play the mission over again, which kind of took the luck out, or like the funniness out of it. Because
Did
I'm
you
like,
flip
fuck,
it?
I got to do it again.
I didn't run
Right.
into any problems like that. I
I'm
didn't
definitely
run-
having problems.
Yeah, I didn't run into any having to reload the game problems or anything like that.
But
Are
I
you
also,
playing on PC or the
No,
Xbox?
Xbox.
Okay.
we were both playing it on
Series
Series.
X.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't experience a lot of problems with Cyberpunk. Like I think the worst thing I experienced in Cyberpunk were shadows that were really messed up, and I had a car spawn inside a cutscene.
Right.
and
Yeah,
clip
So
a
it's
bunch
a
of people.
variable.
Yeah, I've tried
Yeah.
to keep playing
But-
that on, and I am on the older version of the Xbox, but Cyberpunk is still broken.
Is it?
I would-
always still broken.
I would say
I'm
if
sorry
you-
to hear that.
If you don't have a One X or PS4 Pro, I think that is the bare minimum to play these games.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I think I talked
Yeah.
about it on one of the earlier weeks, but on that opening cutscene after you like get into Night City and stuff, and it like goes through like, oh, Jackie and you going through all this, and then you're actually in the car driving to the mission to meet a
Da da da.
like
Yeah.
Big E, whatever his name is,
Right.
Big E looking guy. and
Oh,
you're,
Jackie.
no. Jackie's driving your car, and
Uh-huh.
you're like going to meet with something or that, and you have to stop because it's like people are fucking doing crimes in the street, and the cops show up and then just fucking glack them.
Mhm.
You know that scene? The entire time I was in that car, I could look out the right window because the rest of it there was just black polygons going in and out of the front
Yeah.
and back windshield, and I couldn't see anything other than out the
Tyson
right window.
Earned all 44 achievements on the Xbox One Fat. Like the Fat X. I don't know how he did
Wow.
it. He did not. He looked at me and said, "There isn't anything wrong with this game." And I
He
went, "You
really
are
does.
crazy."
He does not know what a bug in the game in any game is. Then you could throw a fucking mosquito at his face and he wouldn't know it was a bug.
Probably.
Probably.
Capable of letting himself get immersed enough into the game that he doesn't notice. the
He did
clips and
not.
the problems.
Basically, he's the person that's like, "I don't see what's wrong with this game. I don't know why you guys are review bombing it." He's
It's like-
one of those people because
The
he
story's great, man.
he recognized that there was problems, but he's like, "I played it just fine." And to which I go, "No, you didn't. I know you came across something stupid, and you just won't tell me."
It's like, what drug were you on that you were just sitting through those fucking 10-minute loading times every time you died? But that happens.
Yikes.
Yeah,
When that
see,
game
I
first
I
came
didn't
out,
have
you-
the glitches that Cyrus was having with his game. Like, I did have some audio bugs and stuff where the audio would get terrible, but I don't know if that was my headset or the game.
Right.
Yeah. I've also been trying to play through Yakuza Like a Dragon. That game's hilarious.
Is it?
It's very funny.
Is it a funny game?
It is a funny game.
Huh, I didn't know that.
It gets
I,
very.
I saw that name pop up, but it,
It-
looked more like a
it has-
Ninja Gaiden kind of game.
It has serious tones sometimes, like when you talk to the guy that you work for and he starts explaining how his son was born, and you're like, "Ooh, that was sad." And he's like, "That we're just gonna go eat some duck now. Let's go get duck."
Let's get ducked up.
Fucking
So-
A.
Yeah, But it turns funny, and it's kind of an open world. You can do whatever you want in the game, earn a bunch of money.
Okay.
It's hilarious. I like it.
You like it though. It's fun to play, retaining your attention for the
Correct,
most
yeah.
part.
And I'm gonna replay through Resident Evil 7. Very
For
soon.
sure.
Biggest thing that you guys have said about Saints Row is that both of you have, have both said that it's a Saints Row game at its core. And
Yeah,
That's good.
That'd probably be my sell. I'm probably gonna wait for a sale for it to come on before
Definitely.
if I throw money at it right now. But
I just wanted to play it now. I was sitting around on Thursday night, and I was like, I really want to play this game. So
yeah, I've only ever played 3 and 4.
The story's great. Like, the story is absolutely hilarious.
I love the story in
Good.
3 and 4. It was just a fucking comedy ride the entire time. It was just like almost like a satirical. Well, it's satirical, right? Like that'd be the
It's
word.
definitely satire.
Yeah, it's just a satire-based game that nothing is taken seriously, and then you take it not seriously for so long, and then it throws something at you that's real. It's like, fuck, I have to pay attention.
if I had to criticize, I don't think the story itself is bad, but the writing isn't there, and it's not because the writing's bad. It's because I don't think that we just care enough about these characters.
If I had to admit, from 3 and 4, I didn't give a shit about any of the characters. I thought
You needed to play 1 and 2 to really care for like Johnny Gat. And
I thought their dialogue was funny, and they were funny characters like that. But whenever someone was picked off, or if they got fucked up or something, or someone was going at that, I was just laughing because I didn't have a personal connection to it. It was just a funny movie to me. Kind of.
Right.
Because I cared about Saints Row 3 a little bit, but it was mostly the characters they introduced in that game. Like I remember when, because spoiler, they killed Johnny Gat off in the beginning of Saints Row 3.
Yep.
Like that was one of the big plot points. If you didn't play the first 2 games, you didn't have that much of an attachment.
I didn't
Johnny
give a
Gat.
shit. It was an opening scene, and then Johnny Gat died, and I was like, oh no. Anyway,
Me too. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, Johnny Gat's dead." I'm like, "And so?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
like
it.
this is an origin story game, so it's gonna be a little bit slower than the other ones because it's the coming of age forming story.
it's like a prequel to the other games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a rebooting of the whole story.
It's a
right,
reimagining.
Reboot. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
It has
gotcha.
none
You
of
said that
the
before.
original characters. From what I've played so far, it's none of the original characters. It's like they created a whole new set of characters, and they go, "Oh, we're the 3rd Street Saints because we discovered a church on 3rd Street." And, "Oh, there's a big angel. We're the Saints now."
What year does it take place in?
Current day.
Like
Current.
2022?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
They
what-
don't say 2022, they just say modern day.
Modern day, which is
What
right
year-
around these
what-
past few years.
The other Saints Row
take.
games, whenever they came out, they were based kind of like modern day, right?
So
as
Saints
well.
Row the
Yeah.
came out 2011. I'd say that game's a product of 2011.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you want-
they,
Saints
they
Row-
weren't really
Saints
going
Row
on a
4
timeline. They
They're
just
stuck
releasing
in the
the game.
Matrix, so it's all
Yeah.
Yeah, Saints Row
spacey.
4 is all fucked up.
They become president, and then the Earth
Then the
gets blown up,
aliens show
and then
up.
they go into a
like-
simulation.
yeah, Saints Row 4 is just a
And
fucking
then you make
acid
out,
trip.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Johnny Gat's not dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and it's hilarious because you think Johnny Gat's dead, and then they explain in the 4th one why he didn't actually die.
Right.
Because they decided to capture and hold him. The aliens decided to capture Johnny Gat and hold him hostage because he was the biggest threat to the Zinyak.
Yep.
Right.
And so you reunite with him in the 4th one, and then he gets sent to hell, and then there's a spin-off.
get out of hell.
Get
yeah.
out of hell.
Yeah, three and 4 are fucking ridiculous, and that's
Yeah,
what
they
makes
are.
them so good.
Yeah, they're
This
ridiculous in the
Saints,
best
this
way.
Saints Row is a Saints Row at its core, but it's
A step
It's-
back in
I
a way.
a
think
step back. Yeah.
they saw what GTA 5 was doing, and they saw the obvious satire with the characters themselves and not the world that they were building, so they decided just to write those into the characters.
Yeah.
I think where it suffers is that I don't give a shit about the villains in the game. Like, I didn't realize they were villains until, like, 10 story missions in. I'm like, oh, the brightly colored people? Okay.
The,
Those
The
are the
people
bad
that
guys.
don't wear purple? Okay.
the neon people and the yellow people,
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoa.
I didn't...
and the
They
blue
wore
and
yellow.
white people.
They wore yellow. Anyways,
Yeah, they wear yellow. Their
I'm
skin
kidding.
isn't yellow.
I mentioned on last week's episode, I said that the character had some weird slang for like 2006 when he was like, "Oh, drop me off at the fucking fast food place."
Right.
I went back and looked it up later that night because it pissed me off that I didn't remember it. What he said is after you go and you shoot a bunch of people on the block, as he says, "Can you drop me off at Freckle Bitches?" That was the name of the restaurant.
Go bitches.
So
Yep.
Wendy's. He's like, "Can you drop me off at Freckle Bitches? I'm jonesing for a fun bag."
A fun bag.
That's the name of their burger.
That's fucking funny.
Freckle,
A freckle
bitches.
bitches.
And so in the old Saints Row games, the like car mod place was called
Rim jobs. Yep. I remember that.
Yep.
In this one, it's called Jim Robs.
Jim Ross. So Saints Row was never serious. I'm tired of these people, or not tired of these people.
It's
but
not a serious
There's a
game.
small community of people that don't like how not serious this game is taking itself, and it's like that's
Saints
the
Row's
point.
never been a serious game.
Yeah.
That's like when I played Saints Row 3 for the first time, I was like, what am I supposed to pay attention?
It's-
Fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot shit and
It's
have
like when
fun.
you
And
play-
then I caught onto it and then I got it.
It's like when you play GTA 5 and then you play story mode and it's serious in some parts, and then sometimes Trevor does something weird where he kidnaps Martin's wife, and you're like, oh yeah, that's just Trevor.
And then you load in GTA Online and 5 people with rocket bikes
Not-
just start blowing you up
Not even
unrelentlessly.
GTA Online. You play the Strangers and Freaks mission.
Yeah,
You go,
those.
oh, this game isn't serious.
Fucking
Yeah.
strangers and freaks,
Yeah.
dude.
It's insane how awesome those are. It really changes the world of the game.
Right.
You remember the
I
fucking...
just picked up.
Go ahead, Colton, sorry.
I was gonna say I just picked up another game last night. It's a JRPG, and I'm loving the hell out of it. And I've only gotten through the first couple of hours of gameplay. It's
Yeah.
called Soul Hackers 2.
Nice.
Good shit.
I think
Fucking
I've
A.
heard of
It's like this. It's set in the Persona universe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, for sure.
Gotcha.
Oh, I think I heard about that one. Is that one relatively newer?
It just came out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's an AI that's an omnipotent being that's like ahead of everything. And they have a direct rule where they don't interact with humanity at all.
For sure.
But there's a world-ending like cataclysmic event that's being set into motion. So they put basically AI into two body-esque human shells and send them to Earth to basically try to save it. And they send them slightly before the event happens, but the event still happens. But then your character ends up reviving the person after they're dead, and then like you're basically in the process of trying to prevent this cataclysmic event.
Damn.
And
That's
it's a
wild.
JRPG, so it's gonna have like I haven't gotten to the open world part of it yet, but it's gonna have grinding where I have to grind for levels and items and shit like that to get powerful enough to progress through the story. And it has
Okay.
like demon summons. It feels very much like Final Fantasy VIII did.
For sure. That's cool.
That's fucking wow.
And it's got all 4 and 5-star reviews for the most part. The only negative reviews on it on like Xbox Live
Comes out this
are
month.
people saying, "Oh, it's turn-based."
Are you boys ready for Slime Rancher 2 this month?
Oh fuck. New Game Pass game?
Game Pass game.
It's on Game Pass?
Yep.
I'm gonna shove it in Sadie's face because she fucking decided to buy a PlayStation and not keep an Xbox.
Ooh.
She loves Slime Rancher.
Did she buy a PlayStation or just have it?
No, because she works at the pawn shop. She fucking
Came across one?
because she loves Slime Rancher. Fucking was easily her fucking favorite game. Played the. She knows more about that game than I will ever be willing to learn. Like played the fuck out of it. But I know for a fact that she at some point she sold her Xbox or whatever, and then got a PlayStation, and that's what she has right now. And I'm just gonna be next time I see him, be like, hey, on Game Pass.
Let me
I'm
see.
playing Slime Rancher 2. You played it yet?
What did
Shit.
H3H3 say? With peace and love.
Slime Rancher, it's a fun game.
I was gonna see what
It's
consoles it
really
comes out for.
peaceful, just like pass the time and
Yeah.
chill. It's a really fun game.
Microsoft Windows and Xbox Series X and S. It will not be on
Damn.
PlayStation, but it looks like it's not going to be on Xbox One either.
Like I'll have a PC.
But you
I
have a PC, so
I'm
yeah,
fine.
you're fine.
Fucking A.
So sorry to anybody that owns an Xbox One, but maybe you could stream it. That would be nice.
They might honestly put it up for just stream. I mean, Flight Simulator is up for on my Xbox version. I can stream it on that, and that's a XS only game.
Yeah, it's going to be on
Right.
Microsoft Store, Steam, and Epic Games.
Yeah, if they make it streamable, then yeah, people on my generation Xbox will be able to play.
Do you
it.
think Epic Games will ever grab the attention that Steam does?
No.
No.
Well, they forced everybody on PC to get it if they want to play Fortnite, which
Yeah, I forget
It
that they make Fortnite.
has
That is their-
enabled the
yeah.
ability for it to already be on people's machines. Now all they have to do is get people to use it, because the hardest
Right.
part is getting people to download it. That's why the Ubisoft launcher is a pile of shit, was because people on PC went, okay, we just won't play Ubisoft games.
Yeah.
They solved that real quick.
Steam has 2 really huge titles that keep people using it,
Correct.
and that's CS:GO and Dota.
Correct.
Yeah.
But do you think that they will live in harmony where people have Epic and they have Steam and they will have not equal, but top-heavy libraries on both launchers. What I'm talking about is like when you buy new games and there's active new games that you're playing, where there'll be an equal amount of games that you're playing on Steam versus Epic Games.
I
Because I
don't know
think
if Epic will ever be able to reach the level that Steam's at. I mean, Steam
Yeah.
has like hundreds of thousands of games on it.
that's true.
From
Epic's biggest
literally
claim
every, yeah.
is Fortnite, and if they want to look into the future, they need to have big titles in the future, and they need better first-person title or not first-person, but
They need exclusives.
exclusives to Epic Games that want to get people to download them. And if people that already have Fortnite are like, "Oh, I'm going to download these," and they might convince their friends that don't have the Epic launcher to get these games. I think that would be cool. Like, honestly, I'm all for Steam because Steam has shown that they are very user friendly and it works and people love it. But as we've seen with
They
some
need
game companies,
competition.
yeah, they do need competition because as we've seen in the past, if we don't have competition in some areas, some companies decide to see how much they can push the limit of what they can get away with as a company. Steam hasn't really shown that they're doing that recently because, you know, they've unveiled programs where like, oh, you can refund your games in 2 hours.
Right.
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. You know, they're offering Steam Decks to people and they're not really charging anything to play, you know, to be on Steam, and they have huge sales that go on Steam and their first party exclusives are very good. I think the only thing
Good Old Games is a pretty good competitor for Steam. GOG.
Yeah, that's where I have the original Fallout, Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics. I was able to get on GOG.
It's on Game Pass.
Those are all on Game
Mhm.
Pass.
They're on Game Pass now, but when I was playing on a Toshiba satellite 10 years ago,
Yeah.
Fair.
GOG was the GOAT.
Dude, I had
Okay.
Fallout 2 on disc, buddy.
But yeah, I remember
CD-ROM.
I owned Left 4 Dead 2 on a shitty Toshiba satellite, and I was so happy playing that game at like 13 frames a second. Back at like 2012 or whatever.
Fucking A.
Man, those were the days. I just remember.
I
Yeah.
have original install CDs for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeet.
I have Guild Wars discs.
I have Combat Flight
I
Simulator
have Guild Wars
2 and
2. I
Flight
have a Guild
Simulator
Wars 2
98.
account.
I'd have to see if I have my Guild Wars discs, but I'm pretty sure I have Guild Wars. And then I have the original Microsoft Flight Simulator stick, the joystick.
My
Guild
dad
Wars
used to
2 is
have
actually
that.
free to play now.
I don't know if we
okay.
still have it. It might be somewhere out in the garage with a bunch of the older games. We might have gotten rid of them. But my dad knew one of the developers for the original Quake.
Yeah.
And he had... One day I was just going through all the games, PC games and stuff that we had, and I found Quake, and I was like, damn, this sounds awesome. Sounds brutal, sounds great. And my dad was like, oh yeah, I knew one of the guys in the game that it's just a demo disc from like way before the game was out, and it's not going to work on this platform. I was like, but it's here, and we have a computer. And he was like, yes, but they made it for like Windows 95, and this is an XP, and that's like a third of the game. It's not going to work. And I was like, I'll show you. And I installed it.
Beat the shit out of that game, by the way.
I installed it, and it didn't work. My dad turns out he was right. It was a demo disc and only installed like 30 megabytes of data.
Right.
Like,
You can play stuff like that using a program called DOSBox. It is an MS-DOS emulator.
For sure.
it was a disc though, and
They sell.
disc drives are fucking like extinct now.
I would love to get a Wii again because now they sell these SD cards that have programs written on them that have every Wii and GameCube game.
That's awesome.
You insert it into the system and
Oh
you're
my
able to
Cyrus.
boot it up. I know Colton
Cyrus.
is about to say.
Okay, I was like, if you find one, you definitely know somebody that's capable of doing that for
Absolutely.
you.
But I was like, the ability to have those, you know, theoretically, like, I'm not saying that I would do it, you know, I just know
It's
it's
just
out there.
theoretical.
You wouldn't
Theoretically.
download a car, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't download the entire Wii library as well, you know,
Yeah,
Nintendo,
no.
if you're listening. But
The
say
problem with that, yeah.
hypothetically somebody was, that'd be a really cool thing to do because, you know, you just unlimited potential.
Yeah, for sure.
They have Xbox mods because, like, Microsoft doesn't give a shit if you pirate old Xbox games. Like,
Yeah.
probably not
So-
the ones that they resell in the consoles now in the Microsoft store.
That's why I have an achievement
All
in World
20
at
of
War
them?
you can't get because no one plays World at War anymore.
You
And
can
it's-
still
it's
get
to
it. You just have to boost with the lobby of people.
Would literally you could probably get it really easily because 90% of the people that play World at War on the 360 version are modders. You spend 10
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
seconds in a lobby and shoot somebody once, and you'll get like 3 million XP and
But
get sent to max
There
prestige
is a
immediately.
mod that you can do with an original Xbox, like the one that David has, where you
Yeah.
can get the entire Xbox library on it.
That's insane.
I have
You
played
can
on
hard
an
drive
Xbox
mod it.
like that.
Correct. So
I want to do that with that one. Let's do that with that one.
Yeah.
Mission number 1.
I I have one as well.
That'd be cool because I think there's a lot of untapped potential with playing Xbox originals,
Yes, indeed.
like NFL Street 2.
Okay, we're putting that right at the top of the list. I'm gonna get a power cord. We've already got the fucking AV cables. It's in movement, boys.
We've got the
It's
PS.
in
Uh,
motion.
We should play
David,
NFL Street.
I have a 360 still.
Yeah.
So do I.
For that
Yeah.
Xbox original, you need to get the pound AV cables for it.
Pound AV. Okay.
The
Pound.
It-
me.
the brand is Pound.
Oh, okay.
Pound.
I thought you meant British. Gosh. Fucking
Pounders.
pounds, mate.
The
Yeah.
fucking pounders.
No, dude, we played NFL Street last week, man. That was all I've been
that
thinking
was
about.
great.
Yeah.
Man,
was
do you
fun.
see? I played that game so much as a kid.
Yeah, it showed.
God, yeah. So me and my brothers used to be really good at it, and then I would be the only one that played it all the time. So I got really good at it, so my brothers wouldn't play me anymore. Because Jay was the type
Yeah,
of
it
person
showed.
to go up and turn off the console. Jay used to just stand up and turn off the GameCube, and I went okay.
Rip.
And then Tyson would just throw the controller, and we were like, "Yeah, we got to stop breaking shit, dude." I remember I got my mom to play me one time. She had no idea what she was doing, but she pretended like she was having fun. And I was like, at the time, I was like, "Hey, mom, we don't have to play this anymore because like, I'm just whooping you." I was like
Fucking
7,
rip.
but I look back and I was like, it was really nice that my mom decided to sit down and play a game that she was just getting whooped at because she was like, she saw my brothers that they refused to play because I was way better than them.
I played video
Right.
games with my dad, and before he let us play like Medal of Honor and Call of Duty, it was just always just all the other games, and sometimes he would play with us. And then my brother turned, I think it was when he turned 11 or 12, and I was 9 or 10. It was when he let him play teen-rated games and like Medal of Honor, Frontline, and Call of Duty Finest Hour.
Yeah.
And I had watched my dad play it so many times that the first time my brother was sitting there, because the first mission in Frontline, it's D-Day, and you literally just have to like the first objective is you have to go to 4 different like soldiers that are on the beach and just shoot at the machine guns, and it's like you're giving them covering fire so they move up the beach.
Yeah.
Like that's your objective. And my dad barely understood the objective, and Ben was just sitting there like, "Whoa, what do I do?" And I was just like, "Shoot at the fucking thing! Shoot at them! Just hold that button and shoot." I had never played the game before. I just watched my dad play, and it's like, zoom in and shoot up there. And Dad was like, "Yeah, do that." And then eventually, shortly after that, because Ben was playing it, he was like, "Okay, it's really not that bad." Ben hated it because he was 2 years older than me, and I didn't have to wait as long as he did to play the games. We played like 2 or 3 matches with my dad, whooped him every time, and he never played shooters with us again. He only played Wii Golf and like Wii Bowling after that with us.
Always thought my dad was super good at video games. And
Me too.
The day that changed, because like we used to play Madden, because like he never played NFL Street. He was always a Madden guy. He was like, I don't like NFL Street. I'd rather play.
He hated like Mario and
Yeah.
so my dad hated Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but Wii Sports, realistic sports game, he was like, "Fuck yeah, let's play it."
Yeah. So basically, he used to be really good at Madden. So I thought, and like, what happened was we would play, and he whooped me by like 30. And like it would actually end up with just me crying because I'm like, "Oh, you fucking didn't whoop
Just
me."
let me have a chance,
You know those
Dad.
videos where the older brothers are whooping on the little cousin or something like that, and the little cousin's crying? That was me playing my dad at Madden.
Me playing Ben at any fighting
Then
game, dude.
I got Madden 12 for Christmas one year, and I remember playing it for a minute. Like I played it for like a week, and my dad was like, "Oh, you want to play?" I was like, "Okay, let's play." And I whooped him by 30. And
Good
we've
shit.
seldom played Madden since. We used to do it where we used to be like, "Okay, we'll play the Raiders matchup this week. The person that won the last game gets to play as the Raiders,
Right.
and then the person that loses gets to play as the team that they're currently playing this week." And I think it was like I played as the Raiders like 6 times in a row, and then we really stopped playing Madden because he was just getting beat.
Fucking rip.
I think the only Madden game I ever had was Madden 09 for the Wii, and it was like Madden All Play. It had like the 5v5 mode and stuff, but it still had the normal Madden game modes.
Yep.
Anytime I played it, my dad would come and be like, if it was a football day, he's like, "Why are you playing that? Let's watch football." And I was like, "Because I'm playing football."
Right.
My dad would only play Donkey Kong with me.
That's fair. But Donkey Kong is awesome.
That's a fair game to play. I didn't know your dad ever even touched a video game. That's wholesome to me.
Donkey Kong was it, and he only ever made it through like the first part of Donkey Kong Country, like the first like World 1-1.
Donkey Kong
1-5.
Country is one of the fucking hardest games that exist.
It is not a hard game.
I cannot beat Tropical Freeze because I get so pissed off I have to stop playing it. It's so bad.
Tropical Freeze is a different story. Tropical
Tropical Freeze is
hard as
difficult.
fuck.
Okay, Country took me a little bit to beat, but Tropical Freeze, I cannot beat that game. And if you have a Switch, go get a copy of Tropical Freeze and try to beat it overnight because it will piss you the fuck off. It is so infuriating.
I think we only
I
had Donkey
hate
Kong
how hard
Country
that game
2 for
is.
the Game Boy Color. But it was like, I talked about one of the other podcasts, the fucking battery. We didn't know it was just fucking dead. We could only play about half through the first level. And then we'd have to go to bed or the battery would dead. We'd have to start over from the fucking beginning every single time.
I had to play Tropical Freeze with a Wii remote because we didn't have any Wii U Pro controllers. Because like the Wii U came with the gamepad, but if you didn't buy any Pro controllers, you still had to use your old Wii remotes.
Yeah.
Because the Wii U, like, people dog on the Wii U, but it was very compatible with the Wii. You could play anything that you could on the Wii on the Wii U. So you transferred every accessory over. It's kind of like how Xbox One users are able to take everything over to the series.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing it doesn't have is GameCube ports, which was understandable. It wasn't something they really wanted to support, you know, put GameCube ports on a console that's fucking 11 years old when it came out.
The Wii U was,
But-
the first Wii was awesome that it had all those fucking different options with it.
Right.
The original Wii was goated. It was just the fact
Yeah.
that even, I mean, it sold a shitload. Everybody loved it. It was the problem was the system wasn't as powerful, so we weren't getting cutting edge games for it. We were getting fun to play with, party games, and
Simple games that were based on the fucking motion and like point at the screen controls.
but there were superior games on the Wii. Like I remember the Christmas we got it. I felt bad for my mom because she was one of those people that stood out in line for 4 hours waiting for one because she was like, "Oh, my kids are gonna get it and they're gonna jump up in excitement." I was never that kid to like run around the house screaming, going, "Oh my god, I got something!" So I opened the Wii and I was like, "Whoa! Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, dope." And me and
Yeah.
my brothers are kind of the same way. We're looking at it going, "Dope, yeah, yeah." And I think I made a comment where I was like, "I didn't even know I wanted that. Yeah, cool, dope." And my mom
Fuck
felt
her.
so bad because she waited so long to get it. She thought we were gonna jump in excitement. And it kind of broke her heart a little bit. And then we turned it on and we started playing Wii Sports for the first time. And I don't think we turned it off until like 9 o'clock that night. Like we were playing Wii all fucking day.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, "Hey mom, in retrospect, it was fucking awesome. You may not have got the reaction you wanted when we opened it, but
Right.
I fucking loved that Wii."
It was kind of the
And-
same. Yeah, with the year it came out, our next door neighbor got it, and we didn't get it. I think it was 1 or 2 years later. That Christmas was when we got a Wii, and they got us like Rock or Guitar Hero 3,
Yeah.
and a couple other ones with it. And it was kind of the same thing. I actually spoiled it for ourselves because I was helping our mom bring in groceries one day
Yeah.
in late December, right, like probably a week before Christmas. And I thought we had everything left, and I just checked the little bottom part of the trunk, and I opened it up, and there was just 2 Guitar Hero guitars sitting right there, and I closed it and went, "Cool." And I knew what we were getting for Christmas, and I didn't react at all. I told Ben, I was like, "Hey, we're getting Guitar Hero," and he was like, "No, we're not." I was like, "Yeah, we are. Don't worry, I already saw it." And then I'm pretty sure I even waited till like they went out to the store or something, and it was just me and Ben at home, and Mom's car was there, and I was like, "Hey, just look right here," and he was like, "Oh my god!" I was like,
My
"You got
parents-
act real?"
Oh, so on the Wii tangent that I was talking about, did you ever play Rampage Total Destruction?
Best. Fucking great.
The Wii version was so good.
I
'cause
think
it was,
I think I had the GameCube version, but still fucking
the
goat.
Wii version was awesome because it came with the new game on the Wii, so you can actually use the motion controls and shake the controller and break buildings and shit. And it came with the GameCube and the old arcade edition of the game.
Yeah, because the GameCube version I had, it was like the GameCube one was the most recent one, and it was like had all the new levels and shit, but it also had all the old
Sick.
Rampage games.
I can't
on it.
remember. It was like day 93 of the arcade version. You got to Reno, and I remember
Reno was
we
there.
kept playing the game, like me and my buddy, because he came over one day. We were playing for like 2 hours, and like 2 hours of the same game as a kid, like when you're 9. That wasn't the move.
It's
like,
old,
you'd
yeah.
play a game for 40 minutes and you'd want to move on to another
Unless
game.
there's blood and gore, you get old of it real
But
fast.
we were playing because we were like, there's got to be Reno in this game. We eventually hit Reno.
Yep.
Because we kept swapping controls.
Because you go
everybody
from
would
the
get
East
bored.
Coast to the West Coast, and you go from Las Vegas to Reno.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you said Guitar Hero, and I remember my mom got the arcade.
Legends of Rock.
The arcade Xbox 360, and it was bundled with Guitar Hero 3. And it was
Nice.
because my cousin, Stefan, it was actually Stefan, got it
Nice.
the year before. And he played through Guitar Hero 2 and he beat it on the PS2, brought it over to us on Christmas Day. That's how fast he beat it. And he left it at our house. He was like, "Yeah, you guys can play it, whatever." And we played it on the PS2. And then one day he was like, "Well, I want it back." So we had to give it back like 2 months later. And then I didn't play Guitar Hero for like 8 months. I'd have to go over to other friends' house to play it. And then my mom bought the arcade Xbox 360 and it came bundled with Guitar Hero. And that was the shit. I still have the guitar, but the red and green fronts are going out. And I looked up a fix of how to fix it, but it takes a minute to really adjust to it.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't say Bixby. I don't think so. Anyways, but that was the shit. Was playing Guitar Hero back when Guitar Hero was big.
Yeah.
And I was gonna show you, Brandon. There's actually a bunch of memes going around on YouTube now. You can play Clone Hero, which is like somebody was able to take the fretboard from a Guitar Hero game, and then you can make custom modded songs for it. So that you can play any Guitar Hero song you want, and anything that people custom mod in the game, all they have to do is make a chart for it. Well, people have recently discovered Guitar Hero World Tour on PC is heavily customizable to the point where you can switch any member in the band and replace them with anybody. And somebody did one, and it was Baby Blue from the credits of Breaking Bad, and it was Jesse on bass, Saul on vocals, and Walter on guitar, and I forget who was on drums.
Probably Fring.
Probably, yeah. And it was fucking hilarious sitting there watching that these modders are like, okay, this game that's like 13, 14 years old.
We'll just make a Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
movie.
we're just gonna make a Breaking Bad
Spend
movie
like
with it,
30
shit like that.
hours on this.
And
to
it's like
put it in the
pseudo
game.
revive the game because now I'm seeing more and more videos of it. In my
I've seen a
feed.
couple of those. Yeah.
Okay, so you have seen them?
I
Yeah.
have,
Okay.
yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, couldn't believe it. I love it.
Do well.
Because the games we got, I remember we got Guitar Hero 3, and my mom knew I was into wrestling at that time, but the WWE games are expensive, so I got TNA Impact.
Oh shit.
And that game was fine. I was like, this game was awesome because it was the hexagon ring,
Right.
and they had like the matches where you could climb up on the bars and go for the giant X in the middle and shit. And then we rented a Burnout Paradise from a gaming store, and that was when I first played Burnout Paradise.
Love that.
That's why I have that game in high regards, because it was one of the first 360 games I ever played.
Fucking A. I started on Burnout 3. Burnout 3 was like my coming up game.
That
That
game
one
was
was
a shit.
fun.
Mine was NFL Street.
Fucking A.
I played.
Warcraft 2.
What was yours?
Warcraft 2.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Tides of Darkness, to be specific.
Oh shit! There was another PS2 game that I played. I don't remember the name of it.
Tony
Fuck.
Hawk's Underground 2?
I only ever played the first one as a kid.
Oh, for sure.
I bought the second one when I was in high school. That was when I finally played that one.
Fucking A.
I played a lot of Thug on PS2, yeah. Because like I said, we had a
Thug was such a
GameCube
fun
for a
game.
bunch of years, and then it broke, and then our dad just kind of gave us his PS2 because he was tired of playing video games. But that was when we had the Wii in the living room. He's like, yeah, if I ever want to play anything, I'll play the Wii. And he never played the Wii because the idea of using a Wii remote and nunchuck was just stupid.
Right.
But he had it. No, he was a fucking Wii bowling guy. Like, he loved Wii
Yep.
bowling. And then he didn't like the golf that was on Wii Sports, so he ended up just getting the Tiger Woods games.
Fucking
Those are
A.
crazy good games.
I
Yeah.
never played those on the Wii.
It's wild how realistic those games
The
are.
golf games on the Wii were honestly really great.
For sure.
Yeah, and then we bought Brunswick Bowling one year to like get a realistic bowling game, and it was terrible. What a fucking awful game. Play Wii Bowling. Don't play Brunswick.
Throw the
Pro
ball
Bowling.
back at them, having them go, whoa!
Whoa.
Yeah. Some great moments.
Hell
Sorry,
yeah.
brother.
Yeah, and then my mom grew up playing a Nintendo. So like she doesn't like playing video games, but whenever we get like when we had the GameCube, she played Luigi's Mansion, and then she tried playing. We had a I think the reason she bought it was because she was like, oh, I'm gonna give it, to the kids so that they can play it a little bit. But she would play Monkey Ball, and the GameCube that we got came with the Zelda demo disc, which is worth a lot of money now. And to this day I'm convinced our cousins stole it. But basically, it had the original Zelda games from the NES. I think it had Link's Awakening.
Whoa.
It
Damn.
had Majora's Mask on it, and a demo of Wind Waker.
Wow.
And it was a fucking superb disc.
That's insane.
And my mom would play the original Legend of Zelda because that was the one that she used to play, and she used to make it really fucking far. And I remember I deleted her save data one day, and she was pissed off at me. I'll never
Wait,
forget
so
the look on her
Brandon
face when I
deleting
told her.
your save data was payback for you doing that to your mom.
Yeah,
It was
Oh,
just
rip.
retribution. It was
It
a
was-
ripple in
yeah.
the cosmos.
It
That's
was-
why it happened.
It was revenge like
Jeez.
13 years after the fact. So
Dude, it was just
I'll
the
take it.
cosmos doing its
Balancing.
I'll
work.
take it,
yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
Well, I deleted Tyson's profile on Xbox 12 years ago before we had Xbox Live. And he
Fucking rip.
because what I would do as a kid is I would recognize that things were running out of space. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to clear a bunch of things. And I would accidentally delete something I wasn't supposed to.
Quote unquote, accidentally.
Well, I went onto his profile and I hit delete just to see what would happen, and it brought up the yes or no screen, and I went, "Oh, I'm gonna hit no," and I must have hit down too many times, and it scrolled back up to yes, and I clicked yes, and I went, "Oh fuck," and I was just sitting there for like 5 minutes going, "Well, I gotta tell him, I gotta tell him, he's gotta know."
Oh,
Man, and then my
fuck.
mom, she borrowed our cousin's Xbox, like the OG Xbox. She played fucking Sphinx, Curse of the Mummy.
Damn.
So I
Holy
remember that
shit.
game a lot.
Oh, that was work notes.
Fuck
no,
yeah.
that was other podcast notes.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
Yeah, core childhood memories. My mom playing fucking Sphinx, Curse of the Mummy, and you can buy that on Xbox. It's one of their backwards compatible games.
Yeah.
Yep. I tried playing it, and it's very, very clear that that game did not age well with its controls.
Yeah.
But it's still a very superb game. I think they actually came out with a remake that you can get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, instead of playing the original version.
For
I know it's on
sure.
Switch.
Fucking A. Yeah, that one was a good one. I remember playing that very briefly in my childhood, but not a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the name, but I never saw anything about it.
You played as a guy named something.
Yeah.
Let's call him Sphinx. And it was like an action adventure game like Jack and Daxter. And then you start to unravel the mystery of the mummy, and you start playing as the mummy.
Hmm.
And I always remember the distinct walk that the mummy had when you'd fucking run around the map and shit. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I'd have to download it to an Xbox and like bring it and show you guys. But it's a superb game, I think, if you're just interested in this story.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like in the new Madden. You have if you pick quarterback, you get to pick your throwing animation. I
Yep.
went with the most absolute and absurd one. Like, no matter where my guy's at, he fucking like jumps forward and sends both his feet up and then throws it. Like he jumps and throws it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
showing them gameplay of it.
The fucking waddle.
Mhm. Yeah, and it was like a puzzle game too, so it wasn't just like running around and beating enemies.
Right.
Gotcha.
It reminded me of like a Prince of Persia type game for the Xbox.
You
I
know,
played a whole lot of that without understanding a single
Holy
second of it.
shit, man. I remember when my dad finally let me play Prince of Persia, because like growing up he was like, "Oh, I love the Sands of Time," and then he bought the Warrior Within and the Two Thrones
Yeah.
because those were the sequels, and he hated those games.
I played
because
the
they
shit
were-
out of the second one.
They
you
took
mentioned.
the wall running and the puzzle mechanics almost completely out of the game, and they just kind of made it a beat 'em up hack and slash.
Right.
just a God of War kind of remake.
That's kind of what Warrior Within, like you look at the
Yeah.
cover Sands of Time,
Warrior
and it's
Within.
like, and it's him running on a wall, and then you look at the cover of Warrior Within, he's got these fucking blades and he's just staring at the camera and he's covered in blood and shit. They really changed the dynamic of the game around the time God of War came out.
Bats.
Yeah, because they thought that the combat was really important. It was like, no, it was the wall running. And then Ubisoft scrapped Prince of Persia almost entirely, and they started making Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
They tried to come back with the Forgotten Sands and the Prince of Persia remake, the third remake, and those didn't sell as well as Assassin's Creed did, so they just rolled with Assassin's Creed.
Sell what works.
'Cause-
Dickheads.
Because I think Prince of Persia was an SNES game, and
Huh.
then the Sands of Time was like kind of like their pseudo remake, and then they
Yeah.
tried to reboot it again in 2010. And that game was criticized because you couldn't die in it. Like if you fell, you just get warped back up like in Mario
There's
Kart.
no lives or anything.
No, it was one eternal life that you would just like, if you failed, it would just like bring you back on the platform and you kept running through. The enemies couldn't kill you in the game.
That's kind of lame.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid. There was no challenge in it.
Hmm.
That's what made the Sands of Time fun.
Hmm.
If you've never played Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, do yourself a favor and go play it. I think they remastered it. Let me double check.
Fucking A.
If not, I have the disc and just let you guys borrow it because it'll play on your Xbox One.
For sure. That's pretty sick.
Hmm. You just have to deal with the awful controls because it feels like games 20 years ago had bad controls when they were first
They
figuring out
hadn't
the
figured it
analog
out,
sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bass backwards.
Halo came out and they were like, "This is disgusting. Why would you make controls like that?" And then 20 years later, it's the fucking staple of first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My dad, whenever he played
I'll
first-person
staple you
shooters,
with a first-person shooter.
Staple
like
you.
on Medal of Honor or whatever, he couldn't stand the left stick move and the right stick look. He always had it where it was the left stick, you moved left and right and up and down on left stick, looked up and down, and then forward and backward on right stick was forward and back, and left and right was just back asswards controls. And he was like, "No, because you need a strafe when you're shooting at them." I'm like, "Why don't you take cover and do good shots instead of strafing them the whole time like through the open?"
So they did announce a remake 2 years ago, but it still doesn't have a release date. So everyone's wondering if Ubisoft is still going to launch it.
Oh.
Hmm.
Huh.
Well, I mean, Skull and Bones is supposedly finally coming out a
There's
week
still-
after my birthday.
Dude,
There's still
fingers
no
crossed.
gameplay trailer, right, for that game. It's just been all the cinematic ones. For
As
Skull
far
and
as I
Bones.
know,
Fuck, I
yeah.
have no idea.
All the ones that I've seen are all just like movie-looking trailers. I have no idea what that game's supposed to fucking look like.
Well, the Prince of
See,
Persia.
it's Sea of Thieves, but darker.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Darker.
Yeah, but literally it's all just cinematic trailers, and I'm like, cool, that looks great. What does the game look like?
It says on Epic Games that the Prince of Persia remake is still coming soon. Not remake,
Still
remaster.
coming soon.
Or no, it says Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake.
Huh.
So I think they're rebuilding the game from the ground up. So I might buy that when it comes out.
Fucking name.
Speaking of shitty first party Microsoft Studios, did you see the recent bombshell with Halo Infinite?
Oh, what'd they do this time?
Okay, so they released
Split screen's
another.
gone.
Thanks for ruining it, but basically they released the season 3 and 4 roadmap for the game,
Uh-huh.
and the Forge beta is coming out soon, and the co-op beta will eventually be dropping soon, sometime during the middle of season 3. But they announced that campaign co-op split screen will not be a thing.
They're getting rid of it.
They
after
basically said that
implemented
they
it.
want to do other things with the game, and they have high ambitions, but they have to focus resources elsewhere. So campaign co-op split screen will not be a thing in the game.
They've really lost me.
You can play, so you can still play the game split screen multiplayer, and you can play online co-op. You just can't split screen campaign. And yeah, Brandon is just fucking disgusted.
Fucking why? You can still do multiplayer, but not campaign?
I guess
They fucking lost me, dude. I've lost faith in that game.
So
It's a disappointment,
I
but
think
I've
Forge-
really lost faith in
if
them.
Forge is what people on PC are saying, because people were able to access Forge on PC, if it's half of what they're saying it might actually be legendary, because
But-
people were able to recreate like Doom maps and shit.
But Battlefield 5 was
experiences.
dog shit, and when they released that game with its Forge, the Forge was its redeeming factor because there
Halo
was so
5.
much. Sorry, yeah, Halo 5. I said 4. Yeah,
No, you said
but
Battlefield 5.
my
To
sorry.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
Fuck, my bad. Halo 5, yeah. Like, that game's campaign is fucking not worth mentioning. And the multiplayer is really fucking lackluster. But the Forge, like the beer pong map, the things that people were able to create with it is great and all that. And I'm sure Halo Infinite is going to be fucking out of the ballpark with it. But if they're getting rid of the fundamentals of what Halo was, fucking couch co-op and campaign split screen, like you're getting rid of that, but you're keeping multiplayer split screen.
Yeah.
Like, shit doesn't make sense to me.
hmm
I just want campaign co-op. That's literally all I've wanted since day fucking one. 4-player
They've
co-op.
announced that that's not happening. Well, the campaign co-op's coming, but I think it's co-op, which is 2 people. He said Brandon's just like,
Yeah, they've lost me.
but at least they're adding mission select, because it pissed a lot of people off that we've gotten to this point where we still don't have mission select in the game.
There's no mission select. That third of the island is still unplayable because they left the campaign on a cliffhanger.
It's because they're going to
Right.
release DLC at some point, and
At
at this
some
point,
point.
it better be free, because
yeah.
everything else they're doing with the
They
game.
should have been releasing those DLCs right now and had all this other bullshit
still
fixed
fixing the game.
already. Yeah.
And everyone's like,
They just shouldn't have released it. They should have fucking scrubbed
it
the launch.
makes you wonder what's going on at Xbox Studios, because like Playground Games is being criticized for how they're handling Forza Horizon 5,
Uh-huh.
because they keep nerfing the wheel spins and they keep pushing out the season content that's getting harder and harder to finish.
Yeah.
Like the Lego world, not Lego, the Hot Wheels world, it's fun as fuck, but that's paid content. Of course they were working on it because they knew people were going to pay for it.
Right.
But as continuous updates to make the game better, they're not really pushing that, because they're like, well, the game works, so
Yeah, you guys already paid.
here's your
what do we
car
have
pass
to do now?
stuff, and then here's the DLC that we hope you buy. And then you look at Rare, and it's like, since Microsoft has acquired Rare, they put out a really bad Perfect Dark sequel. They put out Nuts and Bolts, which everyone regards as not even really a Banjo-Kazooie game.
It looks fucking weird.
They
like,
port a couple of games over to 360. They make Rare Replay for the one, and then they've made Sea of Thieves. And people are like, Sea of Thieves isn't bad, but if you're not into it, it's now turned into a live service game, and
It's a niche game,
That's
yeah.
all Rare is working on, is updating Sea of Thieves. And it's like, you have this studio that made a critically acclaimed game for the N64. They clearly have it in them.
they have talent. They know how to make a game.
Why aren't we trying to expand and create something that they, can build off of? Because Sea of Thieves is awesome. the thing that dissuades me from it is the live action part of the game, is because I'm like, I want an experience that I can play, put down, and be like, yeah, I love that game. I'd love to replay it someday. Sea of Thieves is just a
There's no end game. Like there is, but
The
you
constant grind with
it's
no end game.
it's a cool fuck around game.
Yeah.
Like when you're just like, hey, let's fuck around for 2 hours and be pirates. It's a cool game, but it's not a game that I clamor to sit there and go, dude, I
Like-
cannot wait to progress and see it.
you could get a million gold in Sea of Thieves and it means literally fucking nothing. It literally money in that game means nothing.
because
It's all you can spend on it is cosmetics and other better voyages
You
that get you
can't
more gold.
upgrade your character, if that makes sense. You cannot make your character better.
Everyone is equal.
Right.
Every boat, your only upgrade is your 3 levels of boat. Every single player is equal.
I remember when I bought my first gun, like the sniper rifle gun.
You
I
thought
think
that the
that's what it's
scope
called.
was going to be fixed?
I thought the scope was going to be fixed. That's why I was like, I can't wait to get a new gun so that I get a working scope.
Sniper rifles will
Nope.
always have the broken reticle. That's
Yep.
how the snipers look in that game.
And
Yeah.
that pisses me off because I'm like, there really is no progression besides making your shit look better.
It just makes it look fancy. Yeah,
and that
that's
makes
all
it
it is.
hard for me to play the game because I'm like, I understand this game's fun to play, and that's why I play it, is because I'm like, hey, we're all online. Let's go fuck around in some Sea of Thieves.
Right.
But there's nothing to progress towards. At least in Call of Duty, it's like, oh, I want to get camos, or I want to level up, or I want to raise my KD, or I want to increase the score that I have in the game, or I want to make my combat record look better. That's what kept me playing like Black Ops 2. I remember sitting there really caring about my KD. Like, that was a big deal. Was like, dude, people
KD was everything back in the day.
KD used to make fun of my KD, and it was like a 1.26 at the time, which wasn't great. But
That's
I was
still
also
positive.
14, so let's be real, that was a good KD.
You were 14 and you actually went to school too. You didn't just sit in front of a screen all day.
I wasn't. I'm not gonna dog anybody, but like, also wasn't good at quick scoping. Whatever. I had diamond guns. He
But-
didn't.
But like you were just saying though, like how Sea of Thieves like has no kind of end game like that. And it's like GTA 5 is basically the same kind of thing. There's a lot more to do, but you're basically
No
just
initiative.
You're
But
literally if you want to go and make money, you do the heist, you do that, and you get a shit ton of money. We did the heist the other day.
But it's cool because you can buy penthouses, or you
yeah,
can buy cool
there's other
cars.
things that you can. There is a lot more.
But if
You can buy different guns and stuff too. But literally,
if you have 100 million gold in Sea of Thieves, your galleon is no different from the guy that just started playing his galleon.
yeah,
There's no difference.
Right.
That's
the
so
main-
that's what Skull and Bones is gonna try to differ itself from. Is the grinding in that game is all about improving your ship.
Then I'm
getting your
excited
gold
for
and
Skull
stuff
and
will
Bones.
actually make you a worthy opponent and stuff. If you're a fucking stack ship, you're a stack ship because you have good and big guns and a strong hull and shit like
Then
that.
I'm
compared
excited
to-
for Skull and Bones.
That would be a really cool thing to have. But yeah,
I
Yeah,
think Skull and
but-
Bones needs to just meet the quality of Sea of Thieves, but also be Ubisoft's thing. Because,
and be something different at
because
the
if
same
it's the
time.
exact same thing as Sea of Thieves, then I just, I'm like, why
If
don't I
it's
just go
just-
play Sea of Thieves? I've
If
already
it's just
progressed.
fancy graphics, the Sea of Thieves, but there's barely any progression, yeah, I'm just gonna play Sea of Thieves.
It's supposed to be the naval combat and stuff from like the Assassin's Creed games amped up to 11.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Well, that'd take a lot of AI players on your boat too. It's not going to be a player game because
No, it's all PvP.
well then it's I don't see how that's going to be a lot like Sea of Thieves then because you're going to be loading into a lobby to have 32 people on your one boat to run
No,
a big ship.
that's not how it works.
Well, if it's player v player and it's something realistic like that, it's going to be a lot of people on one boat and I don't have 10 friends to man a big boat like that.
It's not like that. It's like squads of 3 or 4, just like Sea of Thieves, and you have like somebody that's running the guns, somebody that's running the sails, somebody that's running the rudder, somebody that's
That's fair.
reloading.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't wait till this
Or
game
you can
comes
do
out.
it all by yourself.
Yeah, like I literally have never seen any gameplay of it, so it's just speculations of what it sounds like in my head. But once I see some gameplay, I'll have an opinion of it. But they're not releasing that.
Yeah, I can't wait till this game comes out because I really haven't been following up on it. I've just been listening to what Colton's been saying because I want to experience the game for the first time and I want to be free of influence. I think like reading up on all the Saints Row reviews, I started to get down on myself because I was like, this isn't the game I wanted and this isn't the game I wanted to play, which is why I ultimately bought it because if I was watching another week worth of videos of people going, this game sucks, I was
Probably
gonna
when I got
lose
it,
it
yeah.
because I was like, I just want this game to be good. It's a game I've been waiting for, and it's been 9 years. Brandon, to
Right.
put it in perspective, that game came out our freshman year of high school, Saints Row 4, the last
Yep.
main installment. It came out the week we started high school.
Mm-hmm.
We started high school 9 years ago, right?
It was when the Pistol Squad was formed. It was with
The Pistol
during the
Squad.
Battlefield 4 beta.
Yeah, we need to go back and play Yeah, so next year we should play Battlefield 4 and do the 10-year Pistol Squad anniversary.
Yeah.
But I just want to experience a game. It's kind of how I am with movies. I don't like watching movie trailers because I just want to go see the movie. I don't need to see a trailer to go, oh yeah, this movie's got good parts. Let's go see it.
Kind of like
I-
how I've heard about Love and Thunder. All the
I
trailers look awesome, but it sounds like it's a terrible movie.
I'm waiting for that one to hit. The problem
September 8th, it comes out on
the
Disney
problem with
Plus.
Marvel is that I don't want to go see the movies in theater because I know they're gonna hit Disney Plus and they're not getting rave reviews like they used to. The only Marvel movie I've seen 2 Marvel movies in the last 3 years, and that was the Spider-Man when it came out this last year, and then I saw Captain Strange earlier this year.
Captain Strange.
Doctor Strange. Sorry, he's the captain of being the doctor. Sorry, Mr. Strange.
Captain Strange.
Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking, but like those were
Doctor.
both decent movies. But the Doctor Strange has its criticisms, and I agree with some of it. Like I even walked out of the theater and I went, "This movie was so eerily similar to Spider-Man." Like the what is it? No Way Home.
Or no, Multiverse is what you compared it to, I think. Or
Oh, yeah, you're right, Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, yeah.
I thought Doctor Strange, Enter the Multiverse was very similar to Spider-Verse.
After seeing it, yeah, honestly,
They are very
the
similar
villain plot
movies.
point was, yeah.
I'm serious. Go watch both of those movies back to back, and you will, like write down the plots and then compare the 2 notes that you have, and you
Have
will
you seen
have
Doctor
very
Strange yet,
similar
David?
movies.
I haven't made it all the way through it.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
They're,
I don't know.
man, I don't want to dissuade you, but they're very similar movies.
You've seen Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed some of those similarities that you guys are trying to reference there, and then
It
I
has
just feel like it's repetitive, but without knowing the knowledge of Black Widow, right?
No, of Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
If you didn't
Without-
watch WandaVision.
Yeah, and I only made it so far through WandaVision, and that's kind of like
You had to have at
Eh.
least seen WandaVision to really understand the
Or
Multiverse
know
of
what
Madness.
happens in WandaVision.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to like watch it, but if you know what she was doing and what she was trying to
Why
accomplish in
WandaVision happened,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I was confused the first 3 episodes of WandaVision. I thought that show made zero
It,
sense.
it is
You have
very
to-
fucking trippy.
You have
the
to get
first
to
couple
4 and
episodes,
5,
yeah.
and then you go, "Oh, okay."
That's when the literal reality shows up in the show.
Yeah.
And it grounds it into what's happening. Yeah. It takes a minute to watch
I
it,
couldn't
but-
believe it when I first watched it. I was like, "This was really good," but I stopped watching it the first episode, and I just decided to pick up the second episode later, and I was like, "That was actually
'Cause, like,
very good."
The first 3 episodes literally just are kind of a weird sitcom with weird twists in it that foreshadow kind of things.
Mhm.
And then episode 4 happens and it shows everyone that's outside of what Wanda's doing. And it's like shows the TV broadcast that she was showing up. And it literally just shows all the past 3 episodes and explained what happened in them.
I want to watch She-Hulk because of the controversy this past week.
I've watched the first episode of it and it was kind of funny, but I've neglected watching it. Not because of what I've seen
It's
on the internet and
because
stuff, but it's
there's a scene with She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerking in her office.
oh fucking.
that's
Christ.
real.
That's
Yes,
real. No,
that's
that
real.
wasn't me and Oscar bullshitting. That
Because-
really happened.
The first week it happened, him and Angelica were talking about the bra scene. Because in the
Yes.
first episode, Hulk just goes, "Bra, that's like $1 million door," and it's a fucking hilarious
I
scene.
think if I
but-
watch it, I'm gonna have a good time watching it because I realize what Marvel's
It's
become.
fun. It's a fun show. I'll give it that.
Marvel's just trying to become fun because they need content to go onto Disney Plus to get people to watch it.
They need the stepping stones leading into the next Marvel
You're
phase as
expecting
well.
the quality of movies that Marvel put out between 2015 and 18, because I think that was when they put out their best movies. You're not gonna get that with the Disney Plus TV shows.
Especially the exclusive series where they're like TV shows rather than movies. Because like
Yeah,
Moon Knight was great, but it's not technically serious and it doesn't have any impact on the MCU so far. And Loki was great and it was awesome to watch, but as of yet, it has no impact on the MCU so far. It's just stepping stones leading up into what they're going to be releasing later,
Correct.
kind of.
you know what is really good that I've been starting recently because they're actually putting out new episodes every week on HBO Max is the Harley Quinn show, the animated Harley Quinn. It's very good because it is.
Hilarious.
It's like the first time.
Oh, is that the one where it's like she shoots him with the ray and it's like, what was that? Cancer ray? Is that show or is that an older one?
Yes,
That's
it's
the
that
show.
one.
It's that one. Okay, I've seen clips of that. Yeah, it looks funny.
Where the hell's my electric car, Bruce?
Yeah. What the? Yeah. Okay.
It's very funny because it feels like it's like the Birds of Prey movie where it feels like Harley Quinn, like her character is finally being separated from the Joker. Because when you think of Harley Quinn, it's always with Joker.
Right.
But the
And
Joker
the-
hates
She's
Harley.
and the
she's being
TV show.
separated from the Joker, and
The-
she's being paired up with Poison Ivy.
The TV show
Okay.
is literally her separating from the Joker. Like in the first episode, it's her being. You can watch it for free on YouTube. Like they put the first episode on YouTube for free if you don't have HBO Max, so you can try it out. But it's
Okay.
basically her getting arrested and going to Arkham, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. J said he's always gonna look after me because he loves me." Well, she's in there for like a year and a half, and Joker never comes and gets her.
Yeah, 'cause
And then-
it's like that scene with the
Yeah.
electric car he was just talking about. Because Scarecrow pulls off his mask and he's like, "Why the fuck did you do that? Half of my job is because it's a mystery. I don't
With
know who
Batman.
he is. Now I know he's just some douche playboy."
I saw a meme earlier today on Reddit, and it was the SpongeBob and Patrick thinking meme, where they're like, "And now we're gonna think about it in freestyle jazz," and they're just sitting there really thinking, and it's the people of Gotham discovering who the superhero with billions of dollars actually is.
The one
It's like,
billionaire in the city.
He's got billion-dollar tech. I wonder who Batman is. That guy that's got the chin like that chiseled billionaire. I wonder. Really gotta put the
Fucking A.
fucking dots together on it. Because the only reason the people of Gotham are like, "Oh, it's not the police department," is because the police department fucking hates Batman up until like year 3, when they're like, "Oh, we'll work with Batman."
No other choice.
Oh man, yeah. No, I think HBO Max has good DC stuff now. They're
For sure.
stepping up
Yes.
their quality. I think they looked at what Marvel was doing, and they're seeing Marvel burning themselves out.
Put it more towards adult, not kids, because it's all adults that
Correct.
were kids when all that shit came
The
out originally.
the new Suicide Squad is
I was just
terrific.
gonna fucking bring that up.
Terrific.
I liked it.
Fucking
I
I
liked it.
still need to see it, but I want to watch the whole fucking Sylvester Stallone as the shark. I just want to see all his
You
shit
dum
scenes.
dum. Nom nom.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah. And the shark is a recurring character in Harley Quinn, but it's not like he's dumb. He's actually, he's got lines.
He's just a shark. Like
Yeah.
he's not dumb.
But in
he's just a
Suicide
shark.
Squad, they
yeah.
treat him like a shark. Like he's a shark that just has the ability to talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Says exactly what a shark would say.
Nom nom.
King Shark. Yeah. It was a terrific movie. I still want to watch Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. The only reason I haven't is because I want to watch the original and then watch the Zack Snyder cut to see which one's better. The problem is you have to watch the original, which isn't that great. But Shazam was
I've heard
very good.
Shazam's great.
I like
Shazam is a
Shazam.
terrific movie. I will stand by that.
Because he's like a kid, but he turns into an adult, right?
That's
Yeah.
That's like his plot point.
Not Black Adam. That's Captain Marvel's character. He's a kid that can turn into Captain Marvel.
Huh.
Yeah. Also, there's 2 Captain Marvels. There's one in each universe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was confused for a second. I was like,
So there's
what?
Marvel's Captain Marvel, and then there's DC's Captain Marvel, which is
Kamala
Shazam.
Khan.
Kamala Khan.
That's the Marvel one.
Yeah.
She's the stretchy kid.
I still haven't seen Captain Marvel.
I haven't seen the movie.
haven't
The only
either.
thing that I've seen of Captain Marvel and Kamala Khan's in the
I've-
Avengers game, and
I watched-
she seems to be a pretty cool
Wait,
character.
Captain Marvel? I've watched that one.
No, sorry, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, I haven't
Have
watched.
not seen Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel's the stretchy girl. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched every Marvel movie up until Ant-Man and the Wasp. I missed Ant-Man and the Wasp, and when I started watching Endgame, I was confused. I had no
Ant-Man
idea
and the
what
Wasp was
happening.
great.
Yeah.
But I loved Ant-Man. I just don't know why I never watched Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I had no idea when fucking what's his face Ant-Man jumped out of the
That's the end credit scene because he jumps into the thing. And
Yeah,
then
I had no
everyone-
idea. I was like, what is Ant-Man doing in there? What the fuck?
That was the first tease. I'm pretty sure that's the first tease that Thanos won because Ant-Man and the Wasp came out in the end credit scene as he jumps into the back of the van and then everyone just disappears.
Man,
I don't think it shows them turning to dust, but like it cuts to him on something and it cuts back to it and there's just dust floating away.
I had to watch Ultron again after Infinity War because it was like halfway through Infinity War. I was like, I don't remember anything that happened in Age of Ultron.
It's literally has no impact really to the rest of this stuff other than the Sokovia
In
Accords.
WandaVision, one of the plot points, so spoiler for WandaVision, this is like a second or third episode, Wanda's brother comes back. And I totally
And it's the other guy.
100% forgot that he died in Ultron.
But it's the guy that played him in the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four movies originally.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
X-Men movie.
The guy from American Horror Story. I forget his name.
Whatever it is. Well, it's like
Yeah.
how the Human Torch got recast as fucking Captain America.
Right.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah.
Explain. What does
Chris
that
The
mean?
Evans.
Human Torch in Fantastic Four is the same
Is
guy
that-
that
that's
played
Chris
Captain
Evans?
That's
America.
Chris Evans.
I
yeah.
didn't know that. I only saw the original
It was like how
Fantastic
they.
Four, like
it
years
was like
ago
how
when it came
Marvel
out.
Marvel knew what they're not Marvel, but DC was like fucking people up, and it's like how Ryan Reynolds got casted as Deadpool because they were like Green Lantern's fucking terrible, and they're like, here, come to our universe.
Ryan Reynolds is like the editor didn't
I
watch
mean,
Green Lantern.
Ryan Reynolds had to push for 5 years plus to get them to greenlight Deadpool.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the original Deadpool?
He is
like
the only reason that
Deadpool's-
movie got made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do you remember Deadpool's original movie appearance with Ryan Reynolds? It was in X-Men's Origins, and if you don't remember that movie, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that
Where he
movie
had
was
his mouth
garbage.
sewn shut.
Well, there was the one
Yeah.
when he had his mouth sewn shut, and then there was the other one where he didn't have his mouth sewn shut, and there was that stupid fucking scene when he's just going through with the katanas, blocking all the bullets and shit.
X-Men
That's
Origins.
the same,
Same
movie.
movie.
That's the beginning of the movie and the end
Oh,
of
and
the
they
movie.
they ducked or sew his mouth shut later. Okay.
Yes.
Because you remember in Deadpool 2, they made fun of that scene because
Yes.
fucking Cable's just shooting him up, and he's just fucking sitting there doing that, and he's like,
Do you
"Wow."
Do you remember the credits of Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
The credit to Deadpool 2 is Ryan Reynolds picking up the Green Lantern script, and then the fucking Deadpool kills him. Deadpool kills Ryan Reynolds.
I never saw that.
before he
Fucking
before
great.
he could do the Green Lantern
Yes,
movie. Yeah.
because he was like, I'm gonna fix my mistakes.
I remember the first one's end credits. What's the movie? Ferris
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller's
Yeah,
Day Off.
Go
yeah, it's
home.
making fun of it. It's like the movie's over. Go home. What are you doing? These people are waiting to pick up your popcorn. Go home. These people are trying to do a job.
Deadpool is fantastic, and I think it's good if they don't ever do a third one with Ryan Reynolds, only because the first two are so good
Yeah.
that a bad movie will always leave a bad taste in our mouth. Because you think about
Yeah.
Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and everyone goes, but 3.
Yeah.
If Ryan Reynolds is going to play Deadpool again, they should really incorporate him into the MCU, and I'm really hoping that he's at least has a cameo
I think
in the MCU.
Spider-Man and being able to use the fucking Illuminati for Doctor Strange is where
because
it's gonna end.
there was the Illuminati. Venom has like they've shown like because Venom is now part of the MCU because they showed him in the end credit scene. There's the little blop there, so Venom will show up. So they've showed that kind of bleeding of other MCUs into the main MCU. So I would love to see Deadpool show up.
What about Morbius? When do you think he's coming in?
I would love to see. You know what? Because of how that movie
Morbid
took
time.
place, whatever movie he shows up into, it would be comedic gold for the writers to have him like show up all dramatically into a fight scene and then just get like
Just
hit
get
by a bus or
Fucking
something.
You know what?
Brush.
I'm
Like
gonna,
just get fucking obliterated and killed
gonna
as
watch-
soon as he's on scene.
Morbius this week, and I'll make it a Friday upload. I'll just do a review.
Is it on Disney Plus?
No,
Why not? Isn't it? It's a Marvel movie,
Sony.
right?
But
Oh,
it's
it's a
a
Sony.
Sony.
Because
Sony-
he's a Spider-Man villain, right?
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man and the
and
X-Men.
all his villains. Okay.
Spider-Man and X-Men.
Why just for Spider-Man? Like because
Yeah.
Morbius is his villain. He's not Spider-Man, but he's a Spider-Man.
And they had the Incredible Hulk for a little bit.
Because that first one, yeah.
There was the 2003 movie, and then they remade it 5 years later with.
With Abomination.
And it's funny because people forget that 2008 Incredible Hulk is still in the same universe as the Avengers Hulk. They just
He's-
recast the actor.
Yeah, he's technically the same Hulk, but he's now Mark Ruffalo.
Yes. Which confuses people because they recast him because,
For Mark Norman.
was that his name?
I
Who's
don't know.
Edward Norton?
Edward Norton.
Edward
Norton. Okay.
Okay.
The guy from Fight Club.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Dude, oh man, we were eating dinner with Sierra's parents yesterday, and her dad was shocked that she's never seen Fight Club.
Oh god.
I've never seen Fight Club. I just know the
I'm not
rule about
surprised.
it.
We gotta watch Fight Club. It's like
It's a
it
great
sounds
We should stop
at the
talking
sur-
about it. That's the
here's
first
problem.
rule, right?
At the surface, you go, "Oh, Fight Club's just a fighting movie," and then you watch the final 30 minutes, and you go, "What? What did I just watch?" Like, because the movie
movie. And then you have to
switches
watch
up
the whole fucking
hard.
thing again.
Yeah, because the second time you watch the movie is better than the first.
'Cause you know what's happening.
You understand. And if you don't know the twist in Fight Club, it's a fucking spectacular
Yeah,
movie
I've
to
never
watch.
seen it. And
Okay.
I didn't know that there was a twist in
The
Fight Club
twist,
until this
The
moment.
twist is insane because you're like, you
M.
weren't
Night
the
Shyamalan
whole-
shit.
It's better because you weren't expecting it. It wasn't stupid. It wasn't something that you'd expect. You were like, what?
Like the whole
What?
time? The whole time? The whole time?
The whole time. Yeah, it's crazy how good Fight Club is.
I'll have to watch it.
It sounds dumb because like you look at the cover and it's just Brad Pitt holding the soap bar and you're like, oh, Brad Pitt holding the soap. It's just going to be another dumb, cheesy Fight Club movie because you start watching it and like 30 minutes in, you're like, why am I watching this, dude? What fucking sense does this make? And it's you get to the last 30, 40 minutes of the movie, and it changes hardcore.
Fucking A.
It's so good.
Fucking A.
And even
Well-
her dad was like, I hate Brad Pitt, and that's a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. Like that is Edward Norton and like Brad Pitt's like epic, iconic cult classic.
You don't like World War Z?
I've never watched World War Z and I never plan
Brad
to.
Pitt's in
Generic.
Fury, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fury's probably my favorite Brad Pitt movie because I probably couldn't name another Brad
Definitely
Pitt movie.
watch Fight Club.
Oh, Fury and Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious
Inglourious Bastards
great.
is so fucking good, dude.
Man,
Yeah.
if you've never seen every Tarantino movie, because my
Oh
dad
my
is a
God.
Tarantino homeboy, because
Yeah.
I've seen
Fight-
all of them.
Okay,
Yep.
just real quick. Fight Club is on Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, and those are the two that are free if you have those
If not, I have a
subscriptions.
DVD.
So
So
I have both of those, so I will definitely check out Fight Club.
Hell yeah.
definitely
me too.
check. It's spectacular. It's like 2 hours 10 minutes, so it's like a little bit longer than your average movie.
Hulu's what
but
showed me Boys in the Hood, and I'd always fucking heard
Boys in the
about that
Hood is
movie.
spectacular.
It is such a good fucking
Have you seen
movie.
Menace to Society?
No.
That is
Yes.
another good hood movie. You will love it.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have
The
to- I'll
only
have to
thing
check it
I
out.
can say about Fight Club is keep your eyes open.
Okay.
I'll watch it the way I watch movies, but if you say there's a twist at the end, I'm sure I'll watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
I think I watched Boys in the
sec-
Hood.
the
There's no
second-
twist in Boys in the Hood, but I watched that movie
Yeah,
like
the
5
second
times
viewing
after I saw
of
it. It's
Fight
so
Club
good.
is spectacular. It's like watching Blade Runner for, again, like the newest one with
Trying
Ryan
to-
Gosling.
Like there's movies like that where you notice more at the end of it. There's one that I can't think of because there's some movies like that. You know what I mean?
You
that-
watch it again and you go, oh,
it's better the second
you
time.
learn
yeah.
more as you start rewatching them. I think Dune's like that, but I
Oh,
never
oh.
watched Dune.
No. Me
I'd rather not learn it for the first time because I've heard there's a problem with that movie where you really it was made for IMAX theaters, so if you watch it at home, they crop the shit out of the screen.
What was the movie where it's like the kid, the teenage boy takes his little brother to a party or something, and they eat something with nuts, and is trying to drive him to the hospital. He fucking has his head out the window and gets decapitated. And then, like the end, they're all like some kind of satanic cult. You know the movie. If
I
I
have no
remember-
idea.
If I remember the name, fuck.
I've never, first time hearing of that.
I'm pretty sure it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie too.
Could be.
Has anybody heard any reviews on that Black Phone movie since it came out?
No.
I have not heard any reviews since it came out. It kind
It's
of
in theaters right now.
it kind of dropped off the ad radar after it came out.
I saw a movie on streaming yesterday that I haven't thought about in forever. Do you remember when they cast, like when they first announced that they cast Chris Rock in a new Saw movie? The movie Spiral
No.
came out last year. It's the 9th installment in the Saw franchise.
What?
I forgot that movie existed, and I'm like interested to watch it now because I remember hearing that Chris Rock was going to be in a Saw movie,
Right.
and I was like, how the fuck is that going to work? And then it's been out for a little over a year, and I'm like, I can't believe I haven't jumped on that opportunity to watch it.
No shit.
Saw 10 was announced 2 months ago. It comes out next October.
Wow.
The 10th installment in the Saw franchise. Because I remember they came out with the final chapter, and they were like, this is it. And then they came out with Jigsaw, and they were like, that's it. And then Spiral came out, and then they were like, maybe there's more. And now we're getting Saw 10 next year,
That'll be interesting.
which is wild to see Saw make it to 10 movies because the first one was...
wild.
It's the reason the movie was so successful was because of how little they spent on it and how much money they made.
Oh, really?
The budget on the first Saw movie was like, I remember it being like 20, 30,000. Like it wasn't shit.
Wow.
They spent next to nothing on it because people remember Saw for the elaborate traps. Like I remember looking up YouTube compilations when I was younger of like all the Saw traps and going, whoa, and then seeing Chester Bennington fucking get that sunburn off of his back.
Yeah, just peeling his skin off with the super glue.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, dude, you should be in a band, but but like the first movie was just two guys in a room.
Yeah.
People forget that, and it was just them like, why are we here? What are we doing? And they're playing games with themselves, and then finally it comes down to one of them's got to cut off their foot, and that was the big deal. Was it was like, oh, you got to cut off your foot, dude. Oh, that sounds terrible. And by the time it gets to the fourth movie, it's like, hey, we're gonna drown you in a box unless you stab your neck with a straw.
Oh, fucking Christ.
So the movie Hereditary. You heard of that?
Oh,
That's the one
boy.
that I was talking about.
That is an A24 movie, and that movie
Yeah, it
is-
wasn't M. Night Shyamalan, but I just remember the name. That movie's fucking crazy.
That
It's-
movie's
movie-
terrifying.
That movie's one of those ones where you watch it more and you notice more, and it's fucking.
Because they hit
Yeah.
you with the twist, and you go, dude, I can't watch this. Like it turns into
The end of that movie is fucking wild. Yeah.
That movie is insane. I've never seen a horror movie that captivates you like that.
The fucking head banging on the fucking attic door, dude. Like, God, just that one shot. Like,
That is like a must-see horror movie. Like, you know how The Conjuring was a must-see horror movie when it came out because it was like, oh, this crazy, based on true events and shit. Hereditary
Hereditary is really, really good.
It doesn't ever prop itself up to be real, but goddamn, is
You
it
literally have no fucking clue what's happening the entire movie, and then the ending happens, and you still don't know what the fuck just happened.
A24. I don't know what they're doing with their talent acquisition for those, but they only write good movies because they made Midsummer the next year.
Okay, that's a great movie too.
They made The Lighthouse. I don't know if you guys have seen. I've talked about this once before. The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and it was about Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. They were two lighthouse workers, and it's their interactions the whole movie.
Just going insane.
Going
like Cabin
insane.
Fever.
Fucking that movie, the way it ended, because it's not really a horror movie. It's shot in black and white, and it's just these two characters talking. It's just waves crashing and shit like that. The way it ends is fucking terrifying. Like, there's a certain scene that goes on for a minute. And I don't want to explain it because it's the ending of the movie and it kind of spoils it. But one of the characters is doing something very specific, and the actions he's doing, terrifying. Because it's not supposed to be scary, because it's not a scary movie. But it's just the ambience that they create with it. It's fucking awesome. A24 also wrote, I don't know if you guys saw The Green Room.
I heard about it.
It's basically a band is trying to like make money, and they're up and coming. You know how like bands, the whole joke is, they keep getting stiffed on their checks and shit like that.
Right.
They're offered to do a show at a bar in Oregon, and they're like, okay, cool. So they load up their van and they rush all the way up there, and they're in the middle of the woods, and they're like, where's this bar at? It isn't until they get into the bar and they start unloading all their stuff, they realize they're at a white supremacy bar. Everybody's a skinhead.
Oh shit.
And so the first song they come out and play is like, fuck Nazis, fuck all you Nazi bastards. And they like boo them and throw shit at them. But then they play more songs and the crowd's like, all right, it's just a punk band. They're just screaming, fuck you Nazis, because it's punk. You get in front of the white supremacist face, you say, fuck you and shit like that. But then when they go backstage, they grab all their shit and they're told, get all your shit, get out.
Right.
Well, one of the band members forgot their phone or something in the room. And when they come back into the room, one of the skinheads killed somebody in the room.
Oh, fuck.
And so they kidnap the band and they kind of trap them in the room. And that's why it's called The Green Room, is because they're trapped in this.
A green room.
Jesus Christ.
It's a great movie. A24 knows what they're doing. And A24 is responsible for the next Brendan Fraser movie.
Oh, for sure.
I sent that picture to the group chat where he plays a former 600-pound man.
Right.
And I guess a synopsis, because there hasn't been a trailer for it yet. There's only been the one screenshot of Brendan Fraser. Right. And basically it's a 600-pound man. What happens is he leaves his family. Because he's like, oh, it turns out I'm gay. I'm going to go run off with my lover. And he abandoned his family.
Right.
And then his gay lover passes away and he just eats himself to up to 600 pounds. And then he decides he wants to try and get back into his former family's life. And I'm like, that movie is going to be either okay or it's going to be the fucking saddest movie you've ever seen.
It's going to be heartwarming or it's going to be fucking brutal.
Because Brendan Fraser is playing the big man. I think it's called The Whale is what it is.
Huh.
Wow.
It sounds spectacular.
Fucking
A24 knows what they're doing. I wish they would make more movies, but I feel like that would just stretch them thin.
Yeah. Huh.
Hereditary, Midsummer, Green Room, Lighthouse. They did The Tusk. Do you remember the horror movie where they turned the guy into a human walrus? Yeah, they're also responsible for that one.
That sounds fucking wild.
It's a really bad movie. It's kind of cheesy. But when they reveal the Tusk, like the walrus character, it's a little terrifying when you see it at first because you go, "Oh, whoa, who drew that?" Like,
yeah.
But it's a dumb
puppets
cheesy
for the
movie.
thing.
Yeah, so basically they skin a guy and put him in a walrus.
Oh yeah.
Put his brain in.
One way to do it. Jesus.
You are now a walrus.
What's his name? It's the guy that made Clerks. What's his name? Colton, help me. Who's the guy that
Clerks?
Yeah, the guy that made Clerks. Kevin something?
Oh god, the heavier set guy, right?
Yes.
He played Silent Bob in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Kevin
Smith.
Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Smith. That's
he basically came up with that idea on a podcast when he was super high. And then A24 was like, okay, and they gave him money to make it, and it was just super cheesy and dumb because it was never a serious idea.
Huh.
And it's called Tusk. It's fucking stupid. The whole movie's stupid, but when they reveal the walrus at the end, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, we've passed 2 hours.
Wow.
this recording. We're at 2
We've
hours
been
and 20.
recording for 2 hours.
We're at
Holy
2
hell.
hours and 20 minutes.
It felt like zero time has passed. That was a
This
good
was
episode.
honestly the fastest time this podcast has moved. Yeah, like
Right.
that was weird.
I know sometimes I look over and I'm like, dude, it's only been
It's
30
only
minutes.
45 minutes. Holy shit! What do we talk about? Like, holy shit!
Yeah.
That was. We started this podcast saying we had a lot to talk about. And fuck,
Yeah.
we did. Shit.
Yeah,
Well, fucking A.
we just gotta start moving more, and then we'll have more to talk about. Because last time
Yeah.
when I moved, we started making ideas for a movie, and we really need to get this movie
Oh, fuck.
pinned down. I think this month we gotta secure a script.
Okay.
We're gonna make it. I'm gonna come home from work. I'm gonna work on some ideas.
Fucking
So I'm gonna say this. If I say it in person out loud on the podcast, at least it'll be in writing. I'm gonna watch Morbius. I'm gonna do a review for Friday. So when you're watching this podcast, get ready for Friday. I'm gonna talk about Morbius, and then I'm gonna finish writing the movie script.
A. All right.
Well,
I'm
fuck,
gonna hold myself to those goals.
It's in writing.
It's a New
Audio
Year's
writing.
resolution.
Digital writing. And with that, you guys know where to catch us. We're on.
Yeah.
We got the link tree down below.
Thank you.
All the
And-
socials.
Check it all out.
If you made it this
SoundCloud.
far, this is probably gonna be a long episode. Thank you for making it this far.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by. If you're on YouTube, comment
Anything.
anything.
Just leave
Okay.
a
No,
comment.
anything. It has to be
Comment.
anything.
Just comment. Just leave a comment. We don't care what it is.
We like seeing your comments. Like I didn't realize how much comments meant until we stopped getting them.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Sometimes it's just me talking to myself down there, and I'm like, oh man, I wish somebody would say something.
I'll start chiming in a little
I
bit
love
more.
comments. We should do.
Guacamole.
We should
Comment
get,
challenge.
We should at the beginning of this episode. Maybe they'll see it. And Phil Moore, just leave a giant reminder. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Just say hi or something.
And if you're down here this far,
Say you made it this far. Type in the comments supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There
Or
you
you're
And
close
you're not
to
allowed
spelling.
to Google the word.
Yep, you're
You
close
have
to spelling.
First try.
Just sound
There
it
you
out. There you go. That's your proof that you made it this far. Looking
Type
at
in
you,
giggity
Brian.
goggity googity geek.
Figure that out how to spell that, and you'll be the trailblazer.
There you go.
all right.
Giggity giggity goo.
We'll see you guys next Monday.
See you next month.
Toodaloo.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Adios.